is the Rushmore
Where it's all
Show.
about your top four, and both of us were doing it at the same time. Nothing more. Hey, so Andy, what's up, man? How is your week been?
Week has been great. We're back from Texas. I mentioned it last week. We went this past weekend to the Houston area and got to do a wedding for Alexis. It was a blast. But we're back here gearing up for a very busy Easter weekend.
Hit like tight, Bud Files in the house, Fat Boys in the house. Hit that like button. Let's get this thing going. It's going to be a fun night. We have the 80s royalty in the house, and we are doing some 80s topics. But before we do that, I have to talk about the elephant in the room, right? I hope it's not an elephant, but hey, you went to Texas and did a wedding, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a wedding pretty soon. So last week I was doing the show from Florida, and we were meeting my daughter's uh, soon-to-be in-laws. Well, there goes that. It was a whole ruse. It was a whole bait and switch to get down and meet the parents and her
Great movie, by the way.
boyfriend
Great movie.
proposed at the family farm. And so we threw this big secret engagement party, and we all knew it except for her. It was a great time. So we spent our time down in Panama City and Tallahassee last week, and it's been a blast, man. So, man, 7 people in the house. Say hello. So yeah, man, I've got a wedding that we're going to be planning soon. So
Are you officiating that wedding? Courtney and I were talking today. Are you doing that? Are you walking her? Or has that been discussed yet?
It hasn't been discussed. I will. I'll happily do both of those. So
Yeah, right. I figured you'd be down to do both, but I'd
happily do both of them. But he is a pastor, and so he's got he's got a church and people that are in that too. So I don't know. Maybe may not. So Robert Springs is showing up in the house. One of our guys that is absolutely loyal to the show. Waves and Games. We're going to have him on coming this summer. Stay around. What's up? Poetically Christian Gamer. I was just talking about you, bud. Thanks for being here. Man, I'm praying for your wife and yourself. Man, you guys are just an inspiration to us. And guys, while y'all are here, Waves and Games, Robert, Bud Files, everybody, whoever's here, put your channel in the chat. Put it in the chat right now so people can start following your chat, following who you are, and seeing your journey as well. You're a part of this community just as much as we are. So yeah, man, I'd happily do the wedding, but I'll happily sit back and walk her down too, or vice versa. Figure out how to do both. But let's do this thing, man. So Andy, last week was a great show. Because of last week's show being so amazing, we are, ladies and gentlemen, less than 40 hours away from monetization. I think at this moment, right now, we are 36 hours away. So what that means, if all of you 10 hang along with us till the end of this, would only be about 10 hours. So hang around with us, spend some time with us. And there's Fat Boys in the channel. Go follow Fat Boys. Everybody is a moderator, so you can drop your time in the chat. And Luna's here. Luna Chavez, that is Miss Genesis. She's one of my students. So, hey, Genesis. And, let's have some fun. Andy.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. So, you mentioned it. We have some 80s royalty today. We were just chatting about it. One of our early guests hasn't been on in a while, but it was a cool way that we met him. So, what's the topic tonight, though? Because we're going to talk about our guests here. We're going to bring them on here in just a minute. What you could read the tagline.
I reached out to one of them first, and while I was reaching out in his live and talking with him, and said, "Hey, man, you want to come back on the show again?" And we always let them pick the topic. So he decided to pick 80s ladies of rock, I believe, was the whole thing that he was going to do. And so we were like, sure, we haven't done that yet. We've done some ladies, vocalists and things like that. And then while I was hanging around in one of his friends, which actually is the reason I met him, his live, and both of us were there, I kind of just threw a bone out and was like, hey, do you want to come and join us for this? Because I know it's a topic you would love, and I know it's company you would love. and he jumped in and said, "I'm in." So tonight we're doing 80s ladies. So basically, ladies in music, ladies in rock, ladies like artists that we really love from these guys. Favorite decade of all, right? So 1980, which is crazy to think. 1980. Listen, 1980 is as far back as we are to 2065. That's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy talk. So,
Well, 1980 is as far away as we are to 2070, right? Is that
yeah,
correct?
almost 2070. Right. If you go to the backside. Yeah. So I was trying to get to the right into the closeness of it. But
2070. Holy.
2070. That is nuts. That is nuts. So, all right. So let's get the show going, man.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, hey, all 10 of you, stand up and shout. Gabby in the house, Mr. P. This is another one of my students. Yeah. We love you, Gabby. We love you, Genesis. We love the fact that you guys are hanging there. Go message all your friends and tell them to get up in here. So we're gonna have a good old time about talking stuff that you were not even born, but we're gonna have a good time. So tonight we are talking the Rushmore of 80s ladies. Let's get it.
All right, Kirk. Show is about to start. Who are we bringing on today?
We got to do a little. Yeah, we got to do a little promoting. So the first guy we're going to get on will be the first one that I actually invited on the show, and he has been doing a radio show for years. He's got his own shtick. He's got his own personality. He loves wrestling. He loves 80s. He runs a up north in Vermont, right? He runs a online kind of 80s channel that you guys can follow along with. Like all of what you want in a radio DJ. This is this guy, and you're gonna absolutely love him. He's been on the show before. He actually, I think, did Wrestling Big Man with us. That's, I think, what he did last summer or the summer before. And so welcome to the show, our friend Smash Ventura. What's up?
Ooh, smashing it, baby. You know what? When the Rushmore show comes calling and they tell me the other guests that they're having, I say yes. Then they go, well, wait a minute. Don't you want to know what the topic is? And I'm like, sure. And they're like, 80s ladies. And I'm like, oh, it is the 80s. And the Smasher is definitely down with the ladies. And then, of course, Andy and Kirk are like, and you get to hang out with us, too. And I'm like, hold on, still talking with some of the ladies. Hey, how you doing? No, guys, I can't thank you enough for inviting me back out of the studio. You know, they don't let us out that much. But it is an honor and a privilege for the neon icon, Smash Ventura, to sit amongst retro royalty in Kirk and Andy and the other gentlemen. Oh, man, this is like better than the Four Horsemen. This is better than a Survivor Series team, and I have a feeling that we're going to make it to the main match of Survival that they used to have, where the winning members of each team then teamed up. You're going to feel retro power tonight, baby. That's all I'm going to say for now.
I love it. And listen,
woo!
Thanks for being here, Smash.
Thank you.
Super pumped. Look, Bryce is in the house. He's hyped. He's hyped. So
Bryce!
Let's welcome our next guest. So we're look, I'm going to be honest. We've had YouTubers on before, okay? And our very first YouTuber that we had on was the Sanders Kitchen, a guy from our church. He's got well over 10,000. Celeste in the house. If Reba isn't on someone's list, they're wrong. Hey, look, well, we're okay. I love that you're here, Celeste. But here, let me tell you. So we had Sanders Kitchen. Sanders Kitchen has about 10,000 subscribers at the moment. I think they have more than that, almost 15 or 16 now. But when they came on, I think they were around the 5,000 range, and they were people in our church, and they're old cooks that used to run with Frank Davis in New Orleans. So look, we weren't really starstruck by these guys. We've hung around with them quite a bit. We've been around them for a time or two. And then we just kind of had friends popping in and on. And one day I'm just kind of surfing the net, surfing the YouTubes, and I see I just type in, I wonder who is doing Rushmore. Because the reason we even got the Rushmore idea was from like people at ESPN doing like, who's the greatest quarterbacks of all time? Who's the Rushmore of NASCAR drivers or whatever it is. ESPN does it all the time, and all the sports talking heads. And I was like, I wonder who's out there doing it other than ESPN and other than whatever. We find a couple shows, and I love 80s stuff. So in my algorithm was some 80s stuff, and I type in Rushmore, and immediately this guy had done I think at that moment, 2 Rushmores on his show as just another segment to try and get some variety. So I lean in, I message him, and I'm like, hey, man, I love your show. I love the fact that it's 80s. I'm from the 80s. We love this stuff. Da, da, da. And I started following him, and I kind of lurked for a while and hung out in the background. And I just sent a flyer, and he responded. And listen, one of those things with YouTube is that people just see the personality and don't realize we're just human too. And then honestly, I don't just like Smash is going to tell you time and time again today. He's awesome, but we're nobody, right? We're just some people that kind of press play, and we talk. Well, this guy said he was going to come on, and Andy and I were like, whoa, this guy's got 4,000 subscribers. We're going to have a guy on 4,000 subscribers show up on our show. This is amazing. And he was so gracious. He came on for cartoons first, and then he came on for championship belt with Pac-Man, right? And but this is the first time he's going to be online. And we're going to welcome back to the show. And hey, look, there's a little sentiment to both of these guys, because both of these guys, at a time or two over the last 2 years, have told me they're retiring. And I was like, no, I'm not having it. Not having it. Because I watched
Not if we have anything to say about it.
For the 3rd time on our show, and also the 2nd time for Smash, welcome to the show, the new 80s revolution, Jason Nuck. Come to the show right now. What's up, buddy?
Woo!
Wow, man, oh man. I'm thrilled to be here for the 3rd time. It's what an honor, and I'm amongst some of my favorite people on the YouTubes. Absolutely.
Man, I listen. I've been following both of y'all's journey for a little bit, and we're gonna start and just kind of chat up. This is your time to kind of shine about your show. And I know y'all are both humble, but I want our audience and people that might not know you guys, why they need to come on over and join over there and see what you got. As most of our guys that come on the show, Jason, the background kind of looks like that, but it's filled with video games. There's so many video game creators that follow us, and like it's wall-to-wall Nintendo 64 games. There is something quite different behind you that's different than almost everybody I've ever seen on YouTube. You have you call it the cave. One of my favorite things is you're like, hey guys, Jason Knupp from the car, the cave, the garage. But you call it the cave. And the cave is just wall-to-wall 80s stuff.
Yeah.
So that's you. And then Smash is wall-to-wall from ear to ear 80s stuff, right? Yeah. So we have 2 80s icons. Tell us why somebody should come and visit your show. So let's go. Since Smash, you're going to go first tonight, I think.
All right.
Jason, why don't you start off just kind of sharing about your channel, how you got started, what are you doing now, and anything else you might want to share.
Jason or me?
Jason.
All right. Yeah. The backdrop. Sure. That's all wrestling stuff. I grew up a huge wrestling fan. Major part of childhood. Majority of childhood fun came from watching wrestling and collecting wrestling toys and figures, and I've always loved this stuff. And then I don't know, 15 20 years ago or so, I started collecting stuff from childhood, It started with a couple of items. It started with buying back. I was going to keep it strictly to buying back the old stuff I had when I was a kid. That obviously went away quickly, and then it just turned into buying everything that made me feel good about the decade of the 80s and childhood. And why should you come see me? Well, lots of reasons. I mean, we do a ton of fun stuff over here. We talk about the greatest decade of all time and everything that goes along into it, movies and TV shows and toys and just memories and the feeling of the 80s. I've always tried to verbally capture or verbally express the feeling that we had as kids and the feeling of the summer of 85 or the feeling of watching Friday the 13th in your bedroom at 10 o'clock at night when you're not supposed to. You know, those feelings that I think a lot of adults from our generation changed and certainly want back again. I said it the other day, we can't bring that time back. We can't go back in time. We can't bring lost loved ones back. We can't bring the actual time back. So we bring back the relic. And that's kind of why I do what I do. I bring back the relics of childhood of the 80s, surround myself with them down here in the cave. And also the garage, which has morphed into the newest cave. And so that's why I'm here. I'm big fans of all of yours. Of course, Smash Ventura, who we'll talk in a minute, doesn't quite realize how talented he is and how much more we need to see of him on here.
Agreed.
So let's talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Man, I love it.
I absolutely love following your channel. I'll just give a little bit more about Jason. Jason's style channel has kind of evolved into a couple different things, but more recently, it's more of like a vlog, if you will. It's his life, his family's life. You'll see him go on vacation. You'll see him deal with things at his job and things in his family and all the other stuff that's going on. It's kind of like watching a reality show with someone that you actually can talk back and forth with. And he has such a great community. Everybody from like Larry Bitzer to Colin from Canada, there's so many people that jump in and out of the chat. And one of those guys was Smash Ventura. And we met him over there. A great segue over. Smash, tell everybody what's this thing you do on radio and why the 80s? Why you got pink hair on? Tell them all about it.
Well, so you're gonna find that I sound like I'm ripping off what Jason said, but so I loved growing up in the 80s. I loved the pop culture of the 80s. I loved the relics of the 80s and the feelings that much like Jason was talking about from the 80s. And so I grew up as a wrestling fan. And all the way back then, I was practicing to be a DJ or a VJ. I would record myself announcing songs off of MTV under my Smash Ventura name when I was Little Smash. And the name Smash Ventura is derived of Demolition Smash and Jesse the Body Ventura. So that's where the name comes from. And I'll segue quickly over to the look. If my gimmick's going to be 80s, which is the best part of my actual personality, I'm not going to tiptoe around it. I'm going to dive in head first. So we got the wild rocker hair. It's pink in acknowledgement of Jem and the Holograms, one of my favorite cartoons. My aunt got me into that. The glasses have been worn by Jesse the Body Ventura before. The white glove, Michael Jackson. The wristband is in honor of Judas Priest. And, of course, the never-ending posing is obviously derived of the first 4 glorious years of Hulkamania. So a lot of wrestling influence, but also 80s cable has a lot to do with how I market myself and whatnot. So let me jump into the radio part to finish up real quick. So I saw a movie in 1987. Up until then, I wanted to be Hulk Hogan, but genetics didn't work out for me. I wasn't going to be 6'8" and 325 pounds of muscle calling, Rocky Balboa meatball. So I kept thinking, okay, well, I have this personality, but where does it fit? And all of a sudden, I see this movie, Good Morning Vietnam, with Robin Williams. And his performance as Adrian Cronauer was like a light bulb that went off. And I'm like, aha! I could probably maybe try and do something like that. And another movie that came out not too long afterwards that also that spark had been lit, but this really set it on fire, was Pump Up the Volume with Christian Slater. That ability to make a personal connection with your listener and kind of maybe lift them up from a dark spot or a bad spot, and they can forget about all their problems with you for an hour or 3 hours or what have you. So that segues into what I do if I can get my foot out of my mouth. I've been in radio independently for about 26 years. The corporate guys insist I have no charisma and I'm not entertaining, but hey, the numbers speak for themselves, baby. So I just decided a while ago to try and build an audience online, and my numbers are bigger than all 5 of the stations they own here in town. So you do the math. But the whole goal of the radio show first, which was around for many, many years and then evolved into the YouTube show, was to, like Jason, bring back the relics of the 80s. Now, of course, with me, I do a lot virtually with this green screen over here. So I wanted to, I also had another dream real quick. It was to host my own late night talk show. So all these things came together in Smash Ventura TV and We're Living in the 1980s. The premise is to just kind of dig out old commercials and dig out old toys and put them all together in a power smash, a power mush, and take people on a ride in the DeLorean for an hour or 3 hours in the case of the radio show, and just try as best as we can to try and relive those mutual feelings and those mutual memories in a good place where people, I hope, feel lifted up after I'm done. So of love, and I love doing it. And much like Jason has said many times in the cave, it helps me a lot too when I'm able to do it. So I love the 80s. I love hosting a show about the 80s, and I love talking and sharing memories and feelings about the 80s. So yeah. I hope that answered that.
Yeah, no, that's great. You both you touched on a great point there, and Kirk and I have shared this before too. Like, we started this out as a hobby, but we quickly realized it's almost like our weekly therapy session.
Yes.
It's a great outlet to just, like, again, nostalgia does so much of that. Whether it's 80s, 90s, 2000, whatever it is we're talking about, it is a great. I love it. You said it. Watching something that just lifts you up, man. That is really the goal of all of this is to do that stuff. And we love both of your channels. We're so honored that you're both here today. Man, this is just, I don't want to belabor it too long because I'm excited about this topic tonight for sure.
I got to jump in real quick. I am gigantic fans of all 3 of you guys, and like I joked about earlier, you guys are just way too awesome to me. I'm waiting for like the usher to come in and be like, so we've got the gold standard of YouTube, Jason Knupp, and we've got the amazing Rushmore show, Kirk and Andy, the equivalent of Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard in the tag team division. How in the heck did Smash Ventura get in here? And me, in a moment like that, at a crescendo in the movie like that, that's where I pause and I say my dramatic moment. I go,
so
because I bribed the janitor.
The 4th horseman that just changes every 5 years or so. So you got Flair and Arn and Tully, and then you're like Sid Vicious, and then all of a sudden you're Sting, and all of a sudden you're Benoit, and all of a sudden you're just the guy that's kind of you're very talented, but you're I'm just kidding.
Is it a coincidence that they're doing a show about 80s ladies and they call in the neon icon? I mean,
we have to have experts on the show tonight because, like my tagline says, I'm technically an 80s kid. We said it off camera. August of 1989. So I put in the comments a minute ago that I love the 80s too, but I'm not sure I was seeing in color quite yet. So at that point, if all of that was working yet, but who knows? So
hey, so
it's going to be a fun night tonight for sure.
Before we get started, so it's time to get going and smash your up, okay? But before we get going, let me just there's some new people in the chat that I want to say hello to. Colin from Canada, you're absolutely amazing. I love the fact that you're here. I've seen the shows with Jason. I saw the haul that you brought over to his house, and I've been following your channel, kind of lurking around, but really watching it more since I saw you in the live. You're hilarious. Great channel. guys, this channel has just started over the last, I don't know, 6 months or so.
Yes.
Go, everybody. There's 15 of you. He should at least get 15 new subscribers today by you guys going to Colin from Canada and everybody else. So, Colin, you now have a wrench, which everybody that shows up at my show gets a wrench, as long as you're not a jerk. And I'll take the wrench away if you are. And you are now allowed to drop your channels in the chat. And you're also a moderator. So if any of the trolls show up, which there are some friends that like to come and just be villains today, be heels. We boot them out. We throw them right off the stage, and we get moving along. So welcome to the show, Colin from Canada. And this, my friend, and anybody else that might be in the chat, I just realized Muslim is actually little Timmy, which is Farhan, which is a student of mine who is our moderator student that's been here forever. So anyways, but this is for you if you're new in the chat. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being a part of the Summit Squad. Now, what that means is while you follow along this journey with us, we're going to give our top 4 80s ladies. And what you can do is, 1, you can give your list as we go. Or 2, if you have to run and you're like, hey, guys, it's been a great show. Got to get the kids to bed. Drop yours in the channel or come back tomorrow and drop them in. Do them both. That helps. That helps. We are literally this close to all the goals that we've been trying to do on YouTube. We need about 35 hours, and which is crazy. Last week we got 75. So I imagine tonight's show on Tuesday, we're going to find out that this is done. It's a done deal. This is a done deal. So tonight we're going to start with Smash. We go with our Rosie. Now, this is the first thing, gentlemen. When we talk about, so I know you're up in Vermont and you're up in New York, Jason. You're up in the Northeast. I always share the Tom Brady thing because everybody, even if you don't like football, you know Tom Brady. So here's the deal. Most people in the world outside of a few cities would say that guy is the GOAT. Me and Andy would not agree. We would not agree for certain reasons. 1, we are from New Orleans, so we think a special guy down here in New Orleans is on that mountain. I'm a Chiefs fan, so I think a special guy still playing is on that mountain. And we're also from New Orleans, so that leaves a really big four-headed guy that is amazing on that mountain. And that it gets really short with only one more spot. And the thing is, Tom Brady is great, but he's not our Rushmore. So today, it's your personal Rushmore. Like, who are your favorites in this? And one way to explain it, just like I did, your Rushmore might vary because of where you live, when you grew up, what you listen to, what type of music you listen to, what your dad or mom listened to. So whatever the case may be, there might be some influences that are different than the actual standard that should be on the mountain. If you hit the mountain perfectly and it's the GOATs, so be it. That's awesome. But if you kind of veer down the track and you pick something else, we want to know why. So you start off by sharing your criteria. And the first one is Rosie for Roosevelt. So Smash, you're up. What's your criteria tonight? What you were thinking? You only got to share it once. And then we'll see where you're going with your number 4.
I'm gonna. That's okay. That's okay. So, yeah, Jason Knupp.
There we go. Now we got it.
That's a Knupp. That's got to be a T-shirt. So my criteria basically, I'm plugging there. My criteria basically is just whatever invokes a memory. And since I was voicing an episode of the radio show earlier today, I just picked my 4 based on the 4 that were out of that show. So I'm going to say the criteria is just memory jolters for me.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Totally.
That's a good start. Hey, C. Kruger in the house, just noticed you, man. Thank you for being here. You say, no way, Smash. You're humble. You're the best. We also agree. Thanks for being here. You're a part of the Summit Squad now, too. Just threw you a wrench. Hey, Smash, tell us and all these amazing people what your number 4 is.
Ooh, well, that was tough, but so my number 4, I put the song in the show, and then I had to go watch the movie. Cyndi Lauper. I instantly went full Goonies, baby. So Cyndi Lauper is my first pick.
I love that pick. I love
that pick. I don't know if you noticed. Let me scoot over.
Oh, let me zoom you in, Kirk. What you got?
We're rocking Goonies 2, the video game, right?
Very nice.
Look at, there she is. Oh, it's got a little glare. But
Mama Fratelli.
Yeah, there's the Fratellis. Yeah, I did that on purpose. Great soundtrack. Cyndi Lauper is she's got some great hits from the 80s. And you know what? I'll just throw this out there. I was kind of doing my research and bouncing around. She's still producing music.
Yes, she is.
She put out a great song called Hope in 2019. And I enjoyed it quite a bit while I was kind of doing my studying this week. So great pick, Cyndi Lauper. She is all 80s to me.
And I think
she is like great with the hair, the whole shtick. It's so 80s. Andy.
I think also the bonus points of tying in the whole wrestling world too.
Oh,
yes.
That is a great. What was the MTV program when it would come on Saturday nights or whatever, and Cyndi Lauper was big on that? Like,
are you thinking Saturday Night's Main Event?
That's it. Saturday Night's
Main
Event.
That was on NBC, and of course MTV. MTV had the War to Settle the Score, and then there was another one. But I love the tie-in with wrestling, especially back then, and I also love how Roddy Piper was, because her mother, Cyndi Lauper's mother, was named something that rhymed with latrine. So Piper went into a rant where he's like, Doreen Dominique, I think it's more like latrine Dominique. Yo, my bodyguard, Bob Orton, go use that thing. And she's like, what did you say about my mother? And it's like, we hit for the fences, baby. You met my bodyguard Ace, right? You met my bodyguard Ace, or in this case, you met my bodyguard Jason Knupp. Yeah. I would kick Andre the Giant's butt. Is he gone yet? Yeah.
Hey, I could say this in front of you 80s guys for sure. But we've had a bunch of wrestling shows. We've done heels, we've done tag teams, we've done stables. And Piper is so undermentioned because because he never won a belt, and I guess because he spent a lot of his time being the Piper's Pit and whatever. But for whatever reason, man, he is so undermentioned, and I hate it because he had such great mic work. So, and Jason, what do you think about Cyndi Lauper?
Oh, Cyndi Lauper. I mean, that's fantastic. Sure. The play. I'm trying to think of the consistent play of Cyndi Lauper on 80s radio. She Bop and Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and time after time. They were always on. They were just always being played. And there's some good ones. The Goonies, the soundtrack, the Goonies soundtrack, her Good Enough song. So great. And she's touring. She came to a place. Well, she came to Ohio, I think, maybe 2-3 months ago. So she's on tour.
Yeah, I saw that, and it's like, wow. So when I was on Spotify, they do the little clips now, like reels, and she had like whitish blue hair, and she was encouraging her tour, and I don't know if it was her last farewell tour like Kiss or anything like that, but she was talking about just the tour coming up and talking to the Spotify fans, and I was like, wow, she looked great. She looked great.
71. She's 71.
Dude, she didn't look a day over 50.
No, she did Madison Square Garden too, and talked a lot about the wrestling.
Nice.
When she did her Madison Square Garden concert. So Cyndi Lauper, absolutely great pick.
Love it. Love it. Hey, Retro Cart Collector is in the house. Just want to say, hey, what's going on?
Keith, drop your channel in the chat. Keith was just on the show. He's been on the show twice. Hey, Keith, let me ask you a question. Hey, Keith, before you go anywhere. My goodness, I've drawn a blank. Russ is going to be on the show in August. Maybe you and the other co-hosts want to jump on there with him. But he's going to be on the show in August if you want to come back on. And here's the topic that I want to throw out at you. Top 4, because it's nostalgia. Top 4 video game box art. Top 4 video game box art. We want to do that show, and I saw that the Warp Pipe did it. Maybe you want to jump on that one. So, anyways, thanks for being here, guys. Share your channel. So, yeah, the Weekly Warp Pipe. Thanks, Bryce, for being the dude. Thanks, Bryce, for helping out. Gosh, what a great channel that is. He's from Canada. By the way, Retro Cart, Colin from Canada's here. He might live close to you because you're from Canada as well.
Because everybody in Canada is right next to each other.
It's
a very small town.
With Colin, it doesn't matter where you live. He's going to travel to you anyway.
Okay, well, there you go.
You know,
right.
He's going to load up his car and come see you anyway. So it doesn't matter where you live.
Colin, you're always welcome down here in Collinfield, Georgia.
He's not kidding. The last time he visited Jason, he literally robbed a Toys R Us and brought the whole thing down to him. And Jason's like, "Really? You need to stop."
Barry in the house. Hey, we've done our top 4 berries last time he was here. Barry in the house.
Good they had to name him twice.
Can I just be honest with you? Barry's probably the one. When Barry started showing up, our channel morphed and it changed, and we're so grateful for it.
Let's go.
Hey, I saw that great message you put out there yesterday, this morning, Barry. Thank you. It got my day started off great. Thank you for being here, man. Robert Pop Springs. Yep, absolutely. So, Jason, you're up, man. Jason Knupp is up. So, tell us your criteria, what you were thinking, and what makes you pick these 4 fantastic women. And no holds barred, right? Tell us what it is, and then tell us your number 4, your rose.
Well, it's interesting that I'm a panel member because I'm not a music guy. I don't. I'm the most vanilla top 40 kid of the 80s. I didn't know what a deep cut was. I didn't know anything about music. When I was a kid,
now at almost 50, you do, and that's what makes you special.
At almost 50, I know a little bit about it. So my criteria is just the noises that came out of my radio station here, called Q92 here in upstate New York. Q92, Dr. John Potter. That's the station that we had on in the car. So the 4 women that I chose are ones that I liked listening to as a kid and could sing their songs and can sing a lot of their songs still today. So they made an impact. They stuck in my head. My number 4, I'm gonna say her now because I think, I she'll probably be. All right, I'm gonna save my number 1 for when it's supposed to happen. But I'm looking at a lot of these names, and at least in my top 4, being a non-music fan, they're really just teenager crushes. They're just.
I love that. That's a part of the criteria.
Woo!
Yeah, they're just
definitely a part of the criteria.
Yeah, they're just nerdy, skinny boy crushes. And really, it's how are the music videos on MTV? So the first one, my goodness, I think I fell in love probably for the 7th or 8th time with this woman during a video called Rush. When she was with some dude named Anu. But my God, Paula Abdul, started off as a Lakers girl, an amazing dancer. And even at 50, I really respect hip hop dance. I know that's nothing I've ever said on the channel before, but I love it. I just like to watch it. And she was awesome. And her tape that I had just with some awesome singles and some easily well-known singles that you can sing along to today. But that song in the video Rush, I would stare at the TV and
Rush.
oh man, I would drift off. Cyndi, so Paula Abdul is my first pick.
Hey, oh look, Barry in the house coming with his number 4, who I thought. Listen, if I'm honest, I thought that's where you're going to go, Jason, but it might show up later. So let's not talk about it. But Barry, I agree, good one. And I'll tell you why about Barry about that one in a minute. But let me talk to you, Jason. I love Paula Abdul. This is my first Benjamin off the list. And I actually had her on the mountain. And when I was doing some research, one of the reasons I kind of dropped her off was not because I didn't love her and I didn't have a crush for her. Man, the straight up or Opposites Attract. The Opposites Attract video was fantastic with the cartoon cat and all of that. And I remember just like, Laker girl, that whole thing. Falling in love with her, and now she's done The Voice or America's.
Yeah, she was on
one of those. She's done one of those. But totally agree. Reason I kind of took her off when I was looking was only one of her albums was in the 80s, and I was like, man, I felt like she was more in the 80s. So I didn't disqualify her from the 80s. I just bumped her into my honorable mentions because I was like, yeah, I'm going to go a little bit. But this is a fantastic.
That's interesting.
This is just an amazing pick, and I'm glad you picked it. That's one less honorable mention I get to choose. So, yeah. Hey, Andy or Smash, what you think about Paula?
Oh, I'm sorry to jump in, Andy, but I've got to because it's our homegirl, Paula Abdul. I did 16 different Rushmores, and she was on 9 of them. But it's such a tough choice. But Jason, fantastic pick. I loved her hair. I loved her moves. Rush. I'll confess. There was a little incident in high school where I was in the shower and I thought I was alone because everyone had just left. And the gym teacher was fanatic about, you boys need to understand cleanliness. And it's like, well, dude, you can leave the room. I kind of like to be alone by myself. And I think I'm alone, and all of a sudden I just break into, Rush, lover, come to me. And my best friend at the time comes in and he goes, what in the heck are you doing? And I'm like, so I'm trying to quickly think of a manly song, and unfortunately the only thing that jumped to mind was, it's hammer time. And he's like, not in the shower. And I'm like, so the rest of the school year, anytime the guys saw me, my friends, they'd be like, oh, here comes Smash. Oh. And I'm like, I'll never live this down. But fantastic pick, Jason. I love Paula Abdul.
Goodbye to a few people.
Yes.
Hey, let me just tell goodbye to a few people. Andy, Robert's leaving. Bryce is going dark on us and going to lurk. He's probably going to go play some amazing video games over on his side if you want to check him out. And Barry dropped his whole 4. So, hey, Robert, thanks for being here. We appreciate you more than you know. So, thanks, man. Yeah, Andy, what do you think? What do you think about that commentary?
Again, her music was in the 80s just a little bit longer than I was a human in the 80s. So, but again, and I'll say it in my criteria why I do appreciate the 80s, but Paula Abdul specifically, the video for Straight Up is just one of the more iconic videos with the cartoon elements in it too. That's just a great one. That's a song still that will come on today. And it's like, yeah, I'm not turning this song off. This is just a great song.
I jammed to a Paula Abdul playlist this morning on the way to work.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Really
I hope you didn't sing it out loud because you never live these things down. I still have people going, oh. It's just.
I
don't know what's worse, singing Rush or Hammer Time in the shower, but either one.
Hey, I will say this: the Rush song. Speaking of Rushmore. Okay. Anyways, I used to when I was a kid. And Andy, you know this. I'm terrible at lyrics. I always used to say hush, hush. I always thought she was saying hush, hush, not rush. I don't know.
Well, what the heck rush?
But yeah. I'm just terrible at lyrics. But great pick, Jason. Way to go, man. This is a good start. Cyndi Lauper, Paula Abdul. Man, a lot of people in the chat. Can the 80s ladies be cartoon characters? How about April O'Neil? I mean, technically that's an 80s lady. But we're talking 80s ladies of music. But Jim and the Holograms might be a good pick.
Hey.
Hey. But all right. So Andy, I'm up, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So criteria. Because I have two 80s icons, I went with my criteria today. Man, there's a lot of great people on this list, and I had to narrow it down. So I was like, you know what? Who are the most iconic to me? Like when I immediately think of these people, it's 80s. It's the 80s for me. I threw a little chat to them. One of the other things is how many hits did they have that I liked? Like that was kind of a part of my criteria. There were some, and I'll just go and throw it out there. Whoever it was that was back here said Debbie Gibson. Oh yeah, Barry said Debbie Gibson. Debbie Gibson had a lot of hits, but I had to really crawl to think of more than two or three. Like I was like, okay, what was it? And then when I heard it, I was like, oh, that's right, she sung that too. Oh, that's right, she sung that too. Not that she didn't have a lot of stuff in her library. I just was like, I wanted some people that I could just kind of rattle off some stuff. So that's where I'm going today. And my number 4 is look, I intentionally put it behind me. We're going Rushmore, man. We're going Rushmore right off the bat. Smash. Let's do this thing. Crush. Hey, look, Rushmore, and look, I'm going Cyndi Lauper for all the reasons that you guys said. She's number 4 on my mountain. I can't think of a more 80s person than Cyndi Lauper. I intentionally didn't say the wrestling thing, hoping I could save it for now. You brought it up, Andy. But look, here we go. She had 7 top hits in the 80s, 7 big ones. All right, so when I asked what were the hits, only the hits that were in the 80s are what I was looking for. She had Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Time After Time, She Bop, All Through the Night, True Colors, Change of Heart, I Drove All Night. And here's the big deal. She was on Goonies. I mean, listen,
Right.
when Goonies opened, Goonies to me is the standard of what I want in a movie. You know, I'm writing a book, Andy, and a lot of it has to do with the Goonie idea. A bunch of kids getting together and just taking on the world, which is what that movie was. When we were kids, we just like dreamed about having an adventure with our best friends, and that was the theme song. And the Captain Lou Albano, I relate that with her quite a bit. I remember she was one of the first non-wrestling celebrities to get in a ring and actually take a bump. She took a big bump. And I remember when it happened, like everybody thought she was dead. Like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Just a great 80s thing. Like when you think about her, like the True Colors, when I think of True Colors, I think of the Olympics. I think it was probably the early 90s Olympics that used it, probably like 92. But I mean, just it is synonymous. Commercials, I mean, whatever. And that was the reason why I was looking her up today. Cyndi Lauper is going to be my number 4. I enjoy a lot of what she's doing. And look, I'm a dad, and my kids, man, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That's kind of like a theme song for us, right? Andy, you're a girl dad. You've actually got a channel called Girl Dad. And Girls Just Want to Have Fun is just kind of like we throw that thing on like a Saturday, and we just kind of, have fun at the house, clean house, do whatever, just make memories. And it's just a fun time, man. Cyndi Lauper, my number 4, Rosie, starting this thing off hot with a crush. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, Andy, I mean, I've already said it all. Y'all can chime in if you'd like, but I've already said it.
Hey, I'll tell you. One of the reasons why I picked her too, Kirk, was because like when I think 80s ladies, she just was an explosion of energy and color and uniqueness, and it just it captured what the 80s was. Just all that excitement and color and fun. I mean, I had relatives that were like, "She sounds like a cat in a dishwasher," and I'm like, "Well, then don't listen." Yeah.
Here's a fun fact about her, Smash. You're a radio guy. You like these things.
Yes,
Her
sir.
debut album, She's So Unusual, was the first debut by a female artist to produce 4 top 5 singles.
Yes, sir. She came packing the heat.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I'll tell you, having the wrestling connection when you mentioned her, taking a bump in Madison Square Garden. If you go back and you watch that, there's something so special about 80s wrestling. When Roddy Piper booted her halfway across the ring, you could see the police, the New York City police, lining up outside the ring, ready to save Roddy Piper from death at Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah, I remember like it coming across MTV, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, he really attacked her," and like it wasn't like kayfabe or anything like that. None of that junk. Like they were actually like really thought that she got hurt because they did it so well. It was early on. People were still kind of mumbling about the script type thing, and when it happened, it was a big deal. I remember it being huge. Right? Oh, she was also on. She was also on, and we mentioned this last week, Andy. She was on the Super Mario Super Show. She was also on that as well, and I mentioned that at the Mario episode last week as one of my favorite songs. So that was another big deal about Cyndi. But anyways, yeah, good job.
The opening, the opening, I don't know, whatever it's called, all you music people, the riff or whatever it is of Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That opening kind of that drives you nuts. And if you play it loud and you're just in that mood, it's such a fun song. Lastly, the True Colors, she did some advertising for Kodak, and Kodak is right here in Rochester, New York, and everybody's dad in Rochester worked at Kodak. So when she was doing the Kodak commercials, that was pretty cool deal.
Mm-hmm.
Jason actually reminded me when he shared that Kodak used it. I also remember some point in the late 80s, probably 89, that she got affiliated with Dave Thomas and the St. Jude Cancer folks. And they did this beautiful commercial of all these beautiful children that were so brave and so strong. And they put that song on there. And I still cry when I come across a set of retro commercials for the show. And I'm remastering them, and I come across that one 2-3 different times every few months, and I cry. I still cry because it's so beautiful. One of my favorite songs.
Yeah. Wow. We got a lot of love for Cyndi Lauper.
So, real quick, Colin says, I am still here. I have a pick that I hope one of you put on your Rushmore. We shall see. And then poetically says Madonna has got to be on the list, right? And there it is. And you have to stay tuned. Hey, by the way, Colin, if you want to be on the show, you're welcome. By the way, we got a lot of things coming up, and we'd love to have you. So,
Genius.
All right, Andy, you're up. You're the resident '90s guy. You had a cup of coffee in the '80s. You were born in '89.
Not yet.
89, and
my digestive system would have not handled that at that point.
Yeah.
Cup of coffee in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Waha!
Yeah, man. So my tagline, technically an 80s kid, August 1989. But I do have a love for 80s music primarily because of my parents, my mom specifically. My dad was big 80s, but like Metallica, Slayer, Iron Maiden, Anthrax, that kind of stuff, like Judas Priest, all that stuff. Like I loved all that stuff growing up with him. My mom's influence, and I've shared this before, was the new wave, right? Was U2, was NXS, was Oingo Boingo, was Kaja Gugu, was Duran Duran, Depeche Mode. Like all this stuff is stuff that I would listen to because it was what my mom was listening to, and I really loved it. Culture Club. I mean, just all this stuff that I really, really enjoyed listening to. Another one was the Hooters. That was a good one too. That was but anyway, but I digress. I love 80s music because of that. But when I was thinking criteria-wise, I was looking at what are the artists that I love now or like even early 2000s that I could definitely see that got their inspiration from these 80s ladies, right? You know, I'm a big pop punk fan from the early 2000s, alternative rock, grunge of the 90s, that kind of, like, I love all of that stuff. So I stuck with, and I could have gone pop, I could have gone, man, there's country artists even in the 80s that are phenomenal. But
Yeah,
I stuck with
Celeste says you better have Reba.
well, stick around till the Benjamins and we'll see if she's still here. But I stuck with the rock side of things because I saw a lot of that was happening that really just carried over to the things that I love. So with that in mind, I don't want to belabor this at all. It's Cyndi Lauper. I mean, that's a three-way Rushmore right off the bat. Cyndi Lauper. If you know me, you know that one of my favorite groups of all time, my favorite vocalist, female vocalist for sure, is Hayley Williams from Paramore, and all I see is Cyndi Lauper inspiration in Paramore. But yeah, for all of the reasons that we shared, she is the 80s. She is, when I think, if I could personify the word or the decade 80s, it looks a lot like Cyndi Lauper. It sounds a lot like Cyndi Lauper. All of the songs that we shared, the Goonies, the wrestling, the everything. But I will just add this. My absolute favorite song by Cyndi Lauper isn't any of the ones that we mentioned. It's Money Changes Everything. It's one of my favorite songs. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. And it's very reminiscent of, like I said, the inspiration behind a lot of the kind of pop punk / even emo. Not that song's emo, but I could see it kind of evolving over the years into what we have now. And it's just a beautiful song. But yeah, man, it's one of those songs, and we can't mention Shania Twain tonight because she's the 90s, but man, if I Feel Like a Woman comes on, I'm belting it out. Same thing with if Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I don't even care. You know, Girls Just Want to Have Fun if that comes on. Which, Smash, I was thinking, it's better that you didn't sing that song in the shower, because that might be a little bit more embarrassing if you were singing Girls Just Want to Have Fun. But either way, had to talk about Cyndi Lauper. She's fantastic.
We just went into a bad episode of Saved by the Bell on Showtime late hours, and it's like Smash Ventura sings "Girls Want to Have Fun" in the locker room. It's girls just want to have fun. Woo! Whoa! Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
So Colin from Canada is chiming in. Speaking of Cyndi Lauper, check out the 2005 Body Acoustic album. 10 of her hits rearranged and re-recorded with special guest stars. I will definitely check that out, Colin. Thank you for that update. But hey, we got some chat going on. Foxx is here. Foxx was on the show not long back. He did Boss Music, and what a great time that was. And somebody else is in the chat I missed. Oh, Agent Smith. Agent Smith's in the house. Agent Smith says Kate Bush. And I will address that if that comes up. And Blondie, which I'll address that if it comes up. Good picks. And yeah, let's move on down. We are at our second. Dave Lusco, that's Mr. Lusco to you guys. He's in the house. So Davey, his son, was on the show last week. So Dave, welcome as always. All right, we're starting over. This is round 2. You don't need a criterion anymore. We're going. We're full steam ahead. You're up, Smash. Who's number 2 on the mound? We call him TJ Jazzy Jeff. If you call the Fresh Prince today, that won't fit the criteria. You could have said it a couple weeks ago. So, who is your number 2 on the list, number 3 on the mountain for 80s ladies?
I have to jump in with Pat Benatar, baby. Woo!
Let's do it. Let's talk.
Yes. Love me
Pat?
some Pat Benatar. She just, she brought a different kind of womanness. And then, of course, watching Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I love the scene where the 2 girls are talking and the one goes, "You think I should change my hair to maybe look like those girls?" And she's like, "Oh, there's 3 girls at this high school working the Pat Benatar look." She just had a natural, I want to choose my word a little bit better here on this show. Normally I'd say it different on the radio show, but she had like a nice gravel power when she'd hit certain tones. And I loved all of her music. On this show, I'll say "Heck is for Children." I could put in a cassette tape and only mean to listen to one song, and I end up like flipping it over 3-4 times. Just love Pat Benatar.
Yeah, this is a great pick, man. Andy, what you think about Pat?
This is a good pick
Not
too.
Pat
Maybe
Mahomes, but Pat Benatar.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Pat Benatar. This is a good one. I mean, so many iconic, legendary songs of the '80s. It's another artist, man. You can't really, I guess, as a music fan, talk about the '80s without mentioning Pat Benatar for sure. And actually, it's shown up multiple times in the chat tonight, including Foxx. Foxx has Pat Benatar in there.
There it is, right there. Aha, Benatar, REM, and REM and Elton John were ladies.
REM.
Elton John
Was
Stand in the place where you live, not my foot.
Losing My Religion and Elton John. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty close. C. Kruger
That's
says,
me in the corner.
Supergirl, baby. Hey, so what do you think about Pat Benatar, Jason?
Pat Benatar, again, an MTV radio staple. There's a few people I get confused. Pat Benatar, Chrissie Hynde, and Joan Jett, to me, are all the same person. Again,
that's a great combo.
Yeah, I agree. They have very similar tone. Kind of raspy, kind of in that 80s tone. But you have the same kind of synth in the background. I agree, man. But great pick. I'll just say this: if we're going honorable mentions, and you're looking at my honorable mention list, right? Pat Benatar is presently sitting at about 5 or 6 on my list, and Paula Abdul was sitting at about 7 or 8. So 2 of my top 4 that are on the second round are already taken away. Reason I didn't put Pat Benatar on my top 4, not because she isn't an 80s icon. One, she has a lot of great music, not as many hits. She has a lot of great music though, and but Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Love Is a Battlefield, We Belong are fantastic. And then when you get there, there's some 70s hits because she was early 80s, right? And then the theme from Billie Jean, Invincible, Fire and Ice, Treat Me Right, a lot of good songs. But for me, the longevity power of just like hit after hit after hit. There's some really big statues coming up, and but Pat Benatar is 80s, man. I mean, when I think of this list, she was in my list immediately of something that just was jumbled in my head, like the Pat Benatars and some of the people you mentioned. So
I will say this: the synth from We Belong feels like the synth that's in every montage of an 80s movie. Like I love it, man.
Andy, we haven't talked about this guy in a while, but since the 80s guys are here, the guy that's on Instagram that he has the little synth thing and he goes,
what is his name? Goodness gracious, I know who you're talking about.
He goes, this is a song from a 80s movie when the guy rescues the lady from jail in a car accident, whatever, and then he just plays this little sound, and you automatically
Dream Kid 83. That's it. Dream Kid 83. If you haven't looked him up on Instagram,
guys, listen, you 80s guys, go follow him and just watch a couple of the videos, and immediately you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm envisioning that movie right now, and he's just making stuff up.
I got to jump in though, Andy. Jason Knupp doesn't know this yet, but since I'm like a total mark for his channel, I want to wait until he's done remodeling the cave, and I want to do like a montage and just bring in like show shelves moving and being nailed in different places. Remind everyone what's going on. That's called a montage. A montage.
When we get to 5,000 subscribers, I think that would be hilarious to do a retrospective of all of the remodels. I have no talent to do that. There's only one person here who does. It's the Smasher.
Yeah, I love that. Hey, one of your guys is in here. Garfin Bopper Productions has showed up. I can't hear the stream since my McPuter broke.
Yeah.
Well, look, let's put it up on the channel so we can do this, and everybody just wave. He can't hear us. Oh, there you go. But Dave's in the house. That's Davey, his son. Dude, this looks like a killer episode. Watching while I'm doing my elliptical workout. Hey, you should probably put "Let's Get Physical" on if you're going to do that. So. Let's get
physical. This is a lot easier when I have a road behind me on the green screen.
So, yeah, and Foxx, me cruising with my mom in the '80s, Crocodile Rock on the radio, us all, nya 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 nya. I just think of that when I'm in the '80s. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Ever since I became mathematically an adult, you go back, you look at some of the lyrics of these songs, and yeah, I was 9 years old, sitting at the dinner table singing "Let's Get Physical" while my mom.
Wait, I got one better. We'll share it maybe later. We'll share it later.
Also, would have been a very interesting song to hear Smash singing in the locker room.
You know what? Sorry, Jason. Go ahead.
No, I say all of these songs can go back to Smash in the shower.
Well, you know what? There was a clip that was banned by YouTube, and it was me reenacting the shower scene from Porky's, and I was singing "Let's Get Physical," and all of a sudden I get this email, and they're like, "You can't do that," and I'm like, "But I'm against the green wall," and I'm pretty sure we're engaged to be married at this point.
24 people in the house. 24 people in the house.
But yeah, someone from YouTube was like, "You can't do that," and I'm like, "On television, I don't know."
Yeah.
So hold on. Let me get out of here and get back in. So, oh man, this is
just for the record. While you're doing that, Kirk, Jason Knupp has got more patience than I will ever find in my lifetime. I think he's on. What is it? Remodel 749 of the cave?
Man, you're not kidding about that. You're not kidding about that.
749. It's
yes.
Not, and I'm sitting amongst less mess than I was a few days ago, but it's very frustrating. I'm insane. It's insane.
This is how we know summer camp for all four of us at the same place would be awesome, because I'd set down a cup next to Jason's bunk and he'd be like, "No." And then like a minute later be like, "You know what? I think I liked it better where it was." And then I come along and I'm like, "Why don't we just, announce that the cup is being moved?" And then Andy and Kurt come along and it's like, "We have a format, for the love of Pete."
Hey, what's good about being live and this kind of thing, we've kind of ditched the format being so strategic and kind of have fun with it, because we have people in the chat that we got to hang out with. And with that, hey, we got 20 people in the chat. There's 23 likes. Listen, if you haven't hit the like button already, we're having a blast. We do this every week. If we can get that thing to 40 or 50, the algorithm takes another big jump. So let's see if we can't get that like up to about 40, and everybody go hit the like right now. So, hey, I am having a blast. This is why I knew that this was going to be a great show. When Jason said yes, so it was already going to be a great show with you, Smash. But when Jason said yes and we had all four of us, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be so much fun." So
I sung like a schoolgirl.
Retro Maniac. I didn't say hello, Retro Maniac, but I did throw you a wrench. My bad. He's going to be on the show again. He's been on once. He's going to be on a second time coming up. Retro Maniac, great channel. He does a lot of video game stuff, and he does a lot of compassion work. He hangs out with a lot of wrestlers, guys. My wrestling fans down here. He does some independent wrestling stuff in Louisiana with some of the smaller promotions with him and his son. It's great stuff. Go follow him. Yoda's in the house. Hey, before we go anywhere, Yoda, thank you for being here. How are you feeling? Last time we talked and you were in our chat, you were in the hospital. How are you doing, bro? Send me a chat. Make sure I know you're okay. We'd love to pray for you again. Tina Turner, Paula Abdul. Paula's been mentioned already, Yoda. Janet and Joan. And Colin from Canada says, is in for an appearance. Absolutely, bro. You're on. So we're booking Nostalgia right now, which is August and September. If you're in to jump on in August, September, well, August is Nostalgia. September and October, sports, and then food. 100% healed in Jesus' name. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for sharing that with us. Man, I'm so happy for you. All right, well, look, let's get to the next one. Oh, is it me? Is it me?
No, it's Jason. Jason hasn't gone yet.
So, okay, Jason, who's your number 2? Your number
Well,
3 on the mountain, number 2 mentioning today.
remember, my criteria is
Yeah.
did they make my 10-year-old loins quiver? And I first met this lady when she. It didn't make me happy. I was kind of jealous, but she dated a fella named Willis Jackson on a show called Different. And we saw this cuteness, this cute little bubbly girl, and then I found out who she was, and she was the sister of one of my favorite, favorite pop culture icons of all time, Michael Jackson. Again, love the dance, love just her look, love her voice. For those of you who don't know, her first name isn't Baby, it's Janet. But if you're nasty, then it's Miss Janet. Janet.
Woo!
Let's go.
I love it. I love it. This is a great pick. I will tell you, let me just say this real quick. Again, not from the 80s. I'm from the 80s, but again, most of the 90s and 2000s. She got on my radar during that Super Bowl.
Hey, mama. Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's where it was. That was BC. That was BC. But
that was BC. That was definitely BC. I was a nasty boy. Oh man, Kevin's in the house. My best friend from childhood. Everybody say hello to Kevin if you like video games. He is a genius on them, and he's here. But hey, look, I don't think there's any reason for us to keep talking before I do that. We can share about both because Jason, I'm next, and I'm crushing with you with Janet Jackson. And listen, I was in my so yesterday, at our school. I'm a teacher, and next week is like testing. So they do this stupid thing in elementary, and I'm just like, why are we doing this? But they do this like pep rally for testing. Because we don't have a sports team, so we're like rah 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 testing. Nobody likes it. If I got some of my students in the chat, don't tell Dr. Thompson I said that, which is the principal. But anyways, so we dress up like every day that the teachers do to try and like pump up everybody to go and do some testing. It doesn't work. It's really weird. And yesterday we were supposed to dress like a pop star, and two teachers at the school dressed like Janet. And when they walked by, I was like, oh, there she is, JJ in the house. And they said, oh, what do you know about JJ, Mr. P? Because they call me Mr. P. I said, well, I'll tell you this. We're doing top 4 80s ladies tomorrow night. You should come and check it out because she's going to probably be on my list. I hadn't set it in stone yet. But hey, when you're talking about your little 10-year-old boy, Jason,
yeah,
dude, there was something different about all the 80s ladies and Janet. Janet was just like, it was almost like this taboo, risky thing. You're like, man, there was just something about Janet. Rhythm Nation, like that video where they're all like marching around. And then the Super Bowl, obviously.
Yeah.
And then her brother's like the biggest pop icon of all time. Janet, to me, was like kind of not necessarily. It's one of those like crushes that I had that I probably just didn't tell you. I like it was just one of those things. But I look, Poetic Justice, the movie. I loved her in that. Love that movie. But just here before everybody else talks, I've got my list right here. Let me just Just give me her hits. Here's some of them, because I think, let me scroll up. I think she had, and I know it right here, Janet in the 80s had 10 top 10 hits. 10. And here are some of them. I don't know if it's all 10, but here's some of them. Nope, not her. She's coming up later. What have you done for me lately? Nasty. When I think of you. Control. Let's wait a while. Miss you much. Rhythm Nation. Escapade. I love the Escapade. The Pleasure Principle. All right. And here's a little fun fact. Her album Control, 1986, and Rhythm Nation, 1814 and 1989, were back-to-back mega hits, and they reshaped the R&B pop culture. So,
Yep.
Look, just throwing that out there. She's number 3 on my list. So
I love her. You mentioned the Super Bowl Poetic Justice. I was going to mention this girl, and I know you got some of your students watching. This girl. I'm saying.
Look,
Woo!
I don't think there are any of them here anymore, anyways. But
I want to hear where Jason's going.
We're just talking about confidence and sexiness, and Janet Jackson has had it all throughout every age, every decade of her life. She's still been sexy. She's still been able to portray that, and the Super Bowl. Okay, that was big, but I still have the image of whether it was Rolling Stone. I forget the cover of the magazine where somebody and that's burned in my brain.
Okay. So, Jason, this is for you. Well, we didn't share this with you guys yet, but we put
is Janet Jackson here?
Yeah.
We put the poll out, and so your 4 votes, all 4 of our votes, are going to be out on Instagram, and people are going to get the vote on who has the best. And you
already got somebody's vote.
Jessica says, okay, just because of the way he's presenting his list so far, Jason has my vote.
I'm presenting my list like a 12-year-old hornball.
If you know Jessica, she's a great person. She's part of the con world that we're in, and I appreciate that.
Let me say this. So,
Foxx says the Bengals.
Yeah.
Susanna Huffs. Huffs.
I can't pick one from the Bengals. That's a group situation.
Yeah. So for Janet Jackson, for me, there's not many songs that I go to in my head. Like, I wasn't, again, 89, but the music my parents, they weren't introducing me to Janet Jackson. There were songs like 90s, 2000s that I know of hers, but I don't go back to the 80s songs. And again, that's just personal, right? Obviously, she's an 80s lady, right? But this is the one where I don't know. It's not for me.
Nope, I can't still pick one.
There's a couple
Ruger
of
says, does ABBA count? Well, I mean,
half of them, right?
Technically, they're mainly 70s, but sure, they were in the 80s, dude.
It's like Jessica said, Celine Dion. I see her. I mean, I guess she was in the 80s, but I see her in the 90s.
Yeah. Queen Latifah.
Her prime is the 90s.
Queen Latifah, that's a big one. Queen Latifah is like super talented in a lot of things. She reminds me of like Shaquille O'Neal. Like, whatever she does is just gold. It's like great. Like, it's like she's so talented. Debbie Gibson, Reba, never could limit the 4. Yeah. So, anyways, Andy, you're up, man.
Hey, before Andy goes, I gotta go get a phone charger. I'm gonna let you look at the backdrop. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Perfect.
We're counting.
Put it on your timer behind you. Woo. All right. I'm gonna go up now. My next pick I'll just say this was going to be Pat Benatar, but I'm changing it because I'm literally going to have the same list as Smash. So I'm pulling a last second switcheroo. Obviously, I love the Pat Benatar pick. It's my wife's favorite. She's probably going to hate me for not mentioning Pat Benatar on my list, but babe, I got to change it up. I can't have the same exact list. I got to get votes. There is a game that I'm playing here. But yeah, I'm still sticking with the rock side of things. So again, I'll mention it plenty of times. This is always looking back at the 80s. I remember, growing up in my home and my dad actually having this song, or it came on the radio one day and it was like, oh, who's this person? Let me find a picture some kind of way that we did this. Found a picture of this lady in the 80s, and very much like the description that Jason just gave of Janet Jackson, some of the similar chemical reactions, I'll just keep it to that, were happening to me at the time of seeing who this person was. And, the best part is that she went to a party last Saturday night, and then I'll stop singing it there. I'm going Lita Ford, man. Lita Ford was, to me, felt like she was genuinely a rocker, right? Like she knew her way around a guitar. I loved Lita Ford's stuff, and then again, like I said, all the prepubescent teen, that whole side of things too. But Lita Ford is a great one. Still goes into my my whole being a rocker kind of. Again, she's a rocker. You go back to the Runaways prior to this, is the 70s with her and Joan Jett and everything together, and that kind of cool cherry bomb. But that's, again, the 70s. But then when she has her solo career, and Kiss Me Deadly is a great song. What was the other one? Close My Eyes Forever. There's some good songs that are out there too. But she just an awesome rocker. Great voice and great kind of that pop rock mix music wise. So a lot of the stuff that I really enjoy, I can see kind of coming from that side of things too. So Lita Ford is my TJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, Kiss Me Deadly, and then she had Close My Eyes Forever with Us.
Yeah.
And then Gotta Let Go, Back to the Cave. She is the epitome of rock. When you go to rock side of things, very few people in the world can sing and play guitar at the same time. And there are even less that are female that can do that. To me, you just don't see it as often. And she rocked it, man. She's a rock goddess, and she is on my honorable mentions. She was probably at about the 12 spot. I did like her quite a bit, and that's a great pick. And this does not shock me that you picked her, because that's kind of where I thought you were going to go. You're painting a picture that I expected with Cyndi Lauper and Lita Ford.
I think my next one's going to throw you all for a loop. So I think
hearing Andy say "Kiss Me Deadly" made me really miss Hair Nation on Sirius. I work 35 seconds from home, so I got rid of satellite. I missed that because that song always was in rotation on Hair Nation.
It's a great, with the synth in the back and everything too. Just a really cool pop rock mix.
Andy, I know who you're picking, and it's going to be a shame if you don't.
I don't know if you know who I'm picking.
No, that's a joke. I know somebody that you would absolutely never, ever, ever, ever pick.
And if she gets mentioned, bye. No, it's okay.
Maybe. She'll probably be an honorable mention.
She'll probably get mentioned. We know it'll happen, but anyway.
She hasn't been mentioned in the chat yet, though, which is crazy. I don't think.
Smash, did you like Lita Ford?
Oh, geez. Where do I begin? I'm glad I wasn't singing that in the shower. Woo!
It ain't no big thing.
You kidding me? It's like, had to borrow $5 from my old man. It's like, here's my entire, speaking of, 10-year-olds with special feelings, I wanted to give her my whole rock and wrestling piggy bank. Holy moly.
We need to address this here.
Yeah.
I pulled it up earlier, but you were still doing your chat, so I was kind of waiting through. Hey, Poetically Christian Gamer, man. PCG, I love you to death, man. Been praying for you and your wife. Matter of fact, I'd love to pray for her right now.
Yes.
If you don't mind. And because, dude, you're just, you are one of the people in this chat that's just made our channel worth tuning in every Thursday. For you guys that don't know, Poetically Christian Gamer is, he does streams. He's obviously Christian by the name. He's obviously a gamer. But what you don't know is he's legally blind, and he tries to play video games blind. and kind of shows people which games are appropriate for Christians and young families and things like that. But on the side note, his wife has been battling cancer treatment over the last few months, and look, my message out to you, Derek, is we love you. We can't wait to hug your neck in real person, in real life one day. But for your wife, I pray that the Holy Physician does a work in her today, tomorrow, and going forward, that the treatments are well, and that she she gets all the care that she needs from great people. And Derek, we value your time, and we will continue to pray for her in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, look, thanks for being
Amen.
here at PCG. Thanks for being here, buddy. We love you to death. Oh, look at
Amen.
Hey, Agent Smith. Look, we read them. You just read them in time. We just read them in time. We love you for being here, Agent Smith, and same as everybody else. And thank you for being here. And Miss Rhonda's in the house, guys. She says Olivia Newton-John and Andy Lennox. Annie.
Yes.
So, all right. So that's a good
Half the
pick.
mountain.
Lita Ford. Anybody else want to talk about Lita before we go to halftime?
I can't say the rest of my thoughts, so let's go to Jason Knupp.
You know,
Well, we're at halftime. So
we're at halftime.
if you're not going to talk about Lita, make sure if it's Lita, cool.
Love Lita.
Cool. For those curious, my selection still has not been mentioned. Okay. I hope to goodness it's not the one that my buddy here just can't stand, but we'll see. Hey, it's halftime, right? Am I right, Andy? It's halftime?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so look, at halftime every week, we kind of drop some things in the chat just because we absolutely love the community, and we have other community separate to this that we want you guys to know about. Number one, I am currently, I looked over here and saw this, so my mood kind of changed. But look, I've been showing you guys these things that right now. These are all inspirational books of Christian content creators. They all wrote devotions. And many of these guys, well, this one right here, Hector Miray, he's going to be on the show next week. He wrote these two books. He's going to be on the show next week. These guys are going to be on the show in August. And hopefully, not that one. I haven't met her yet. But this guy is going to be on the show hopefully as well. But we're also writing some devotions here to go along with the Rushmore show. And that's because we have an opportunity to go into conventions all over the Southeast, and we are what we would consider pastors and Christian creators, but more so we're just people that love the community. And if you ever have a prayer request like Poetically Christian Gamer, like anybody else that's in the chat, that is way more important than you hearing from me talk about Lita Ford. And that's just how we feel here at the Rushmore Show. We love you to death. And we love our community. What's amazing about the community is people like Davey, Lusco, and others have asked us to come in and not only have a table and help and do the emceeing and all that, but we actually preach a Sunday nerdy message as a part of the program. Not because we take over and we're bashing people over the head, because we want people to know that they are loved and that we're on this journey together. And no matter what your weird nerdy thing is, we have weird and nerdy too, and we still can be one in this crazy world. And so listen, you have some issues, you want to chat, you want to talk, we just love that to death. Speaking of friends in the Christian world, right over there over Andy's shoulder is Culture Box. There they are. Culture Box is of 7 or 8 different crews that channels, and actually to start the show off, Celeste was up in here. And Leslie, she is one of the people in Culture Box. Her and her husband, Dallas, they do geek devotions. But we have so many groups over there that have joined us. They're Christian creators. And we, every week, as a part of Culture Box, we love to promote just one of them. Please go and subscribe and like to all of them. They do a lot of things on Twitch and Rumble and even YouTube. Go find them. Go follow them. They're great people. Andy, who are we going to share today?
Well, you already shared it, but I'm going to put out the commercial for Dallas and Celeste over at Geek Devotions. Let's check it out.
Perfect.
Geek Devotions is a collaboration of devoted geeks that are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. They produce a weekly geek culture-infused devotional, their podcast content, and written articles, all designed to encourage and challenge people in the geek community, bridging the gap between their faith and their geekdoms. Find all their content at geekdevotions.com. Hey, we're actually going to be recording with them next Tuesday. They're actually doing a mini Rushmore on their show of top 4 anime, so I'm excited about that. We're going to go hang out with them.
I am digging deep on this one, dude. And
I have my 4. I'm just glad we don't need honorable mentions, at least as far as I know.
Almost all of mine, I think, so far are from the 80s. So
there you go. Nice.
Hammy and Son, our veteran, is in the house. Guys, if you know anybody that's a veteran, has PTSD or anything like that, Hammy's your guy. Him and his son do cards collecting and card ripping and all those kind of things. He was just on an amazing show talking with veterans that I watched. Such a great one. And yes, hamburger is the highway. That's a great quote from our show when he was on the show. So, hey, one more thing before we get back to the amazing 80s guys below. We actually have our first sponsor. We don't make a nickel from it, but we do have a sponsor. And it's one of the greatest cups of coffee you'll ever have. Andy, you only had 1 cup of coffee in the 80s. Tell me about what that cup of coffee would taste like. Share the Village coffee with our friends.
I have more than made up for my lack of coffee in the 80s with my coffee since we've been knowing these people at Village Coffee. Let's check it out. The official coffee of the Rushmore Show, Village Coffee.
Let's face it, at-home coffee can be pretty stale. Coffee at home doesn't have to be boring. The Village Coffee is here to deliver the flavor. The Village Coffee roasts coffee every week and sells online. Go to villagebeans.com to order your coffee today and use discount code RUSHMORE for free shipping.
Hey, I want to tell you one thing.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, with Village Coffee, they are now offering subscriptions. You can be you don't even have to go keep ordering. You just sign up, and they'll keep shipping it to you. And if you use that promo code Rushmore, you get free shipping. Should definitely be.
Now, does Village Coffee make K-Cups?
Yes, that's what I use.
I become a coffee guy, and Village, I was drooling at that commercial.
Me too.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, so if you get Rushmore, you'll get free shipping. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And
not anywhere too. So
all over it. Hammy, you're ordering some coffee. That's awesome. Hey, one thing I wanted to share, guys, our 2 channels below. If you love 80s stuff, go follow these guys. And also, not just the 80s shows that they're doing, but also Jason's son has a video game channel. And I love there's a lot of video game folks in the chat. Go follow Liam's channel.
Lethal Liam.
Yeah. Oh man. It's
I don't know what his name is anymore. He changes his channel.
He just changed it to like Off Guard Heaven or something. Or
yeah,
something weird. It was like a weird game. It was like dinosaurs playing. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, my 9-year-old against my, I don't know, maybe sort of. He started a little channel. He's been doing crazy shorts lately. It's so fun in this house. Hey, your viewers right now have a wonderful opportunity to become my 5,000th subscriber. We're only like 8 away, so you never know. You guys,
hey, get in there.
Are we gonna announce 5K tonight?
We could hit 5K.
Everybody, go over right now. Jump out the chat. Go to, and all y'all have wrenches, so you can right click if you're on the phone to the new 80s Revolution. There's 17 of us in the chat. Hopefully you haven't all subscribed yet. Go over there and let's get him to 5K.
All right, Jason, I think I'll finally come subscribe to you.
Oh, thank you. just get this. But you know what? You're going to be the 5,000.
While I'm doing this,
yeah.
I'm going to put in my son's video game channel in the chat because he would be mad if I shared somebody else's and not his. So there it is in the chat.
You know what, Andy? He'll be my 5,000th, and then he'll unsubscribe the next.
I don't know why I did www.retro.
I know the feeling, Jason. I pick up like 10, and then all of a sudden 15 disappear, and I'm like, "What'd I do? Was the wig not fluffed enough? Come on!"
I always wonder about that. How do you like? I think it's YouTube going through it and being weird with stuff, but like, I don't want to put in the work unless something really offends me to go to the page and click on subscribe. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'll just stay subscribed. What does it matter?
One of the big things, just for everybody out there, and most of the people in the chat kind of understand this and know this. If you go to, say, Jason's channel and you sub, right? It doesn't necessarily like officially lock in until you actually like interact a little bit. Because if you just sub and you disappear, YouTube gets mad and they think it's just a bot that somebody's trying to get free subs. So you got to at least like watch a short or two, hit a like, send a comment. So they're like, oh, this dude's real. If they do that, then they usually stick longer. And sometimes you'll see some drop, and I always see them come back. I mean, I don't always see them come back, but usually like they'll drop, and then like 4 days later they'll be back.
You see, I go totally in the other direction. Sometimes Jason hits because we're both nostalgic in similar ways. Sometimes he'll hit an emotional chord with me, and I'll type like a book, and then I'll erase like 9 paragraphs and leave 4, and then I feel bad about it.
Well, you mentioned earlier the morphing of the channel, not just the room renovation, but how it's become a vlog, and it has. And if people come check it out, they're going to see the toys, and they're going to see the stuff, and, the gimmicks around the room, and the televisions and things like that. But the channel has just become such a outlet of just connecting with people, like-minded people.
And I say I absolutely love the fact that you're live now, quite a bit. Because when you're not live, sometimes you hit. I've almost exclusively watch live videos now. Like I go to the Who's Live and just talk in the chat, and then I get out of there. If somebody puts a video out that's not live, I'll usually play it in the background. Because I love just the idea of actually conversing with the people.
Unfortunately, we show, reality TV obviously became, it took over television in the 90s. Mm-hmm. But most reality TV people aren't likable for multiple reasons. I think the shows started to make them, you needed a character even on reality TV. But people have told me that, watching my stuff is just like a likable reality TV guy. And I do the same stuff. I watch a guy who's changed his channel back to Big Beefcake now, Stephen Brown.
Yeah, I saw it. I messaged on his thing today.
Yeah, great guy. Some of his most relaxing entertainment stuff is just him petting his cat. And, and I'm like, I can't get enough of it. He goes to bed and tells us that he's going to bed, and I'm like, oh, is he going to wake up? What's he going to do when he wakes up?
All right, well, look.
I love that.
Our show will be 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And so everybody, go follow the pages. Change for channels is good. Hey, so we got 30 likes in the chat right now. 15 people hanging here. If you haven't hit the like, go do that. We're going to start the second half. Smash, you're up next. This is Link. Link is short for Lincoln, number 2 on the list. What you got?
Oh, boy. Well, I wouldn't have forgiven myself if I had not mentioned her, and so many memorable songs linked to so many major childhood moments. Live to Tell was in heavy rotation when Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff turned on Hulk Hogan. So I thought it would be a great music video, like he tells the secret as to why he pile-drived Hulk Hogan. So with that being said, Madonna.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There it is.
We had to mention
Madonna.
I just get taken back to 1986. We lived in a red A-frame house, and we wore the LJN Hogan and Wonderful out, reenacting that heel turn, and Live to Tell was on the radio coming out of the front room. So I just like the weather right now, I was brought back to that time, and we're sitting on the little deck in front of the house, and my father goes by and he goes, "You guys have been reenacting that heel turn all morning, and it never stops being awesome."
Yeah. Hey, so earlier you guys were mentioning songs lyrics that you didn't know about or whatever, and whatever. So
Me too,
there's
though.
this
Yeah.
great video. There's this great video of that's being stitched. That's when like somebody watches the video and kind of comments over it of a lady singing in church like a prayer. And,
Oh my gosh.
and there's
Not a
and
church
the guy,
song.
the guy leans in and goes, "Nobody's going to tell her what that really means. Nobody's going to tell her. Nobody's going to really tell her what that means." And she's in there like during worship, like a prayer.
I do believe the Pepsi executives would of that time would love to remind everyone. It's like, this is not what we signed up for. And Madonna was like, well, you already signed the contract, so I'll just take my money. Thank you. Cha-ching!
It's such a great video because like this lady is just going to town. Like she has no idea what she's talking about. She's just reading the lyrics and it says prayer.
How many times, Kirk, has that happened, though? I remember still being in grade school in 1991, and there were girls on the playground that love salt and pepper, and they're like, push it, really? What the heck?
It still happens, though. It actually
Another song that would not be good in the shower.
Hey, what I do on Sundays is my business. I watch Jason Knupp, I sing a little salt and pepper, I decompress.
Yeah. I mean, and you actually said it, and now it's funny. Me and my wife were riding down to Panama City this week, and we were kind of just my daughter always controls the radio, and she loves the 80s. There were a couple songs she put in, and I'm sitting there listening to the lyrics, and I was getting like a kind of like a tight spine, like oh my god, I've never really put 2 and 2 together on this one, and then I just reached over and I changed it. Why'd you change it? It's a good song. Yeah, it's a good song, but we're not gonna listen to that one. And then the next one, yeah, we're not gonna listen to that one either.
Well, and I think Jason would agree that because I could have sworn I've seen him talking about it on his channel before, that lyrics as we interpret them as a kid, when we're innocent and we have childlike personas, is different from when we listen to those same songs many years later, right, Jason?
Andy and I have talked about this. So Andy is definitely a lyric person. So Andy, you probably knew the lyrics quite a bit when you were little. I am more of a beat or a sound person. So when I listen to a song, I want to hear the beats and the song, and then sometimes I like Rush. I'm singing Hush Hush, but I just like the song, and I'm not even know what I'm singing. Andy knows exactly what he was singing. Andy, when you're like,
so I loved having the cassettes or the CDs and taking out the insert and reading all the lyrics.
Reading the lyrics. Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah, so that was what I did. I never
Notice bringing in a hit here, the Milkshake song, All the Boys to the Yard.
Oh.
Speaking of the yard, have you ever been to the yard?
There's nothing. Okay, that one's bad.
In Florida is fantastic.
That one's bad because I will weird out my wife. She'll be like, Are you gonna get out of the shower at some point? And with my back, I like a hot shower. And I'm like, you keep testing me, and we'll find out. She's like, yeah, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, my bush. I go full Homer Simpson. I'm like, my milkshake brings Mr. Burns to the yard because my shakes are better than theirs. Their shakes are better than Hey, Homer, pass the soap. And then my wife's like, how many people are in there? And I'm like, hold on. This is Jack Nicholson, and I'm also in here with a dog. Clint Eastwood, when did you get here? Pass the loofah.
Oh my god.
Anyhow.
Hey, we got somebody on the Facebook side hitting the like. If you're over at the Facebook side, hit the like over there too. Yeah. So Jason, you're up, man. So Jason Knupp is up. I like saying that. Knupp, you're up. Number 2 on your mountain. Who's the second best?
I have. I hope I'm doing this right. I have my first Rushmore.
All right.
Woo!
Hold on. Yeah,
Cyndi
your first
Lauper.
Rushmore.
Cyndi Lauper made mine for 2.
Now
Four-way crush with Cyndi Lauper. 4-way. All right, let's go to Cyndi.
Man, oh man, I love her. I love her today. I loved her then. Obviously, the wrestling connection was huge for me. just I can picture. I would call our radio station, because that's, that was huge for a kid to call the 222-9200. I remember it. It's 222-9200, 292 in York. And I would just, my little 10-year-old voice would say, I'd like to request a song. Okay, what do you want to hear? And it was always She Bop or Girls Just Want Fun. I just loved her. And again, I think mainly it was the wrestling connection. That was that era was when I really dove into wrestling for the first time and really got involved in it, and seeing her a part of it. Just her look. I mean, she had a look that was so was, I guess, common today. I mean, there's nothing special about her 80s look today. It's an everyday look on the streets, really. But I remember one year she had shaved the side of her head, but it shaved in the pattern of a waffle, and it looked like a waffle iron had been shaved into her head. And I just thought that was the coolest look ever. I don't know. I thought that she had the cutest personality, the most obnoxious talking voice, and the best singing voice. I love her. Cyndi Lauper. I'll listen to her today. I will rock out to Girls Who Want to Have Fun in the Car, and Time After Time, and then Matchbox 20 redid Time After Time, and it sounded amazing. And I love her. And when you go back to lyrics, I was probably 40 when I found out what She Bop was all about. But
me too.
Yeah.
Again, that was one of those songs that I was singing at the dinner table, and my parents were looking at me. What on?
Hey, check this out. Check this out.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. There's the waffle iron.
Me too, Jason. I love that look.
That's
love
awesome.
that look.
Yeah.
I could go for a waffle right now. Waffles would be really good.
Yeah, waffles are good. So Cyndi Lauper first. That's my number.
Look, quad Rushmore. The quad Rushmore. This is
It doesn't happen very often.
No.
Doesn't happen
You
very
get
often.
four with the same pick.
All right. And
love it.
Unless the George, the number one, does some crazy stuff, I think that might be the only one. So man, that's a great pick. We've already talked so much about her, but yeah, her hair, her look was awesome.
Love her.
The videos were great. There were just she was. So you mentioned Smash Madonna.
Yeah.
She was at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like a great alternate to that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you had this pop star that's like mega on the front, and this pop star was for like all the other kids that didn't want to follow,
That's so well said, Kirk. I always felt like if we put those two together, it would be an 80s coin minted at the Pac-Man factory. One side would clearly be Madonna. The other side would clearly be Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
And I do agree with Jason also that it was tough to get through some of the MTV interviews sometimes. Why are they always talking about me? And why did I think I'm so unusual?
When she's in Piper's Pit, and Lou Albano was saying, she keeps going, hey Lou, you big fat Lou. Like you could tell that she was not a wrestler. Her promos and wrestling were terrible, but hey Piper, you're really mean to me. Like they were terrible, but she was so awesome.
It added so much, though, Jason, because I know we've watched a number of Piper's Pits and whatnot, but my God, Piper could play off that so well because he could be like, "Look, your hair is strange. It fell into a lawnmower. Your voice sounds like a cat in a dishwasher. I can't listen to it anymore. You sound like nails on a chalkboard."
Oh, there's a good one. What about Cyndi Lauper on "We Are the World"?
Oh, we could spend an entire we could spend an entire show on just that song. I mean, when the boss comes in and he does that boss thing and he's like, "There's a choice we're making," he gets that extra. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me.
My favorite thing about that whole thing is watching Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
Yes!
yeah.
And then, yeah, he comes in and it's like, Bob, are you here? And he's like, we came in our own name. It's true, you make a better day, just you and me. And then Michael Jackson kind of steals it and he's like, when you're down and out and you feel there's no love at all. And then Huey Lewis jumps in. He's like, but if you just believe, there's nowhere we can fall. Okay, I'll stop singing.
Hey, Andy, you definitely have to clip that for.
There's some shorts coming out of this one.
You got to clip that for a short.
That's a 10 out of 10 right there. We got to do a Rushmore of matches impersonation.
Here's a quick impression of Jason Knupp. I'm humble because I'm awesome.
That was good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Good night now.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
nice. All right. So Quad Crush more on Cyndi Lauper. Kirk,
Yes.
now we're to you on your link, man. Where are you going to go with your next pick?
My link, she hadn't been mentioned today. Let me give you a couple things about her. She is second. She has the second most hits from a ladies singer perspective in the 80s. Here's the crazy part about it. They all came from 2 CDs or 2 albums. She has 11 hits, and they all came from two albums. That's crazy to me. I'm going with the one that needed a bodyguard. I'm going with The Voice, Whitney Houston.
Woo!
And listen, we talked about voices, Andy, the vocalist, and she was the one. So I haven't thrown this out there yet, and I can't believe I haven't done this yet. But if I am choosing music, right, and this is a newer thing. It's not something that I've always been, but and you know what? I maybe have done this my whole life, but just recently I realized how much I do it more. When I go to Spotify or I go to the radio, I tend to want to listen to male singers. And so when we did vocalists, you know, I have Chris Cornell on there. I've got Perry on there. I've got really good male vocalists. This was the one vocalist that was going to pop into my top 4. She is she belts. She is amazingly singer. We talked about crushes. I never really had a crush on Whitney in a sense of like a young kid, but I did appreciate her music. Here's some of her hits. How Will I Know? Greatest Love of All. Saving All My Love for You. I Want to Dance with Somebody. Listen, my daughter just got engaged, and the opening song, they put that on, and we all danced, like immediately. We were all just dancing and having a good time. It's such a great party song. So emotional. Didn't we almost have it all? Where Do Broken Hearts Go? All at Once. You Give Good Love. Fun fact, her 7 singles hits number 1. Her first 7 singles hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it was a record for that time. Her first 7 singles, number 1. That's crazy. Tragic Death, storied relationship with Bobby Brown. She had a very big drug issue, and you know, we always talk about those set of things because on the pop culture side, sometimes she kind of got a bad rap at the end there, and people really jumped on. But I love the documentary that I watched about her. She's an amazing singer, and she deserves her flowers. I'm going with Whitney.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Great choice.
There we go. All right, sorry. Yeah. I was putting that in there. I put a joke in the chat. That's her favorite kind of coordination is hand-eye.
Barry said he don't get it.
You got to sing it. You got to sing it.
Yeah,
You got to sing it.
It's so sad. Being fans of this decade so much. We're having fun and talking about these folks, but there are so many sad stories.
Yeah.
Watching our childhood icons and
Oh.
their deaths, and I absolutely hate that Whitney Houston's life ended the way it did, and it became infamous, so her star became infamy, and that's I think of her, I think of everything Michael Jackson went through and his death, and obviously some of the wrestlers that we've lost. It's just it's hard to watch some of the guys go out.
What is it, the 28 Club or the 27 Club, 29 Club? What is it, Andy?
Well, Whitney Houston was older than 27, but yeah,
she was, but we're talking about like tragic deaths. I mean, that's one of those things.
There's the 27 Club.
Jason makes an excellent point. Especially, it's hard to be a fan of the wrestling era that we're a fan of, because on the one hand, I look at my collection with great pride, because it's like, okay, I've got everyone I've ever dreamed of, but then the adult part sets in, and it's like, it's kind of a graveyard. I get a little depressed about that, and then much like Jason does, this is another thing we have in common. I'll throw down the ring, and it's like, you know what? We're gonna go back to 1985, and I'm gonna enjoy a show, and I'm gonna line up the music and do my best Vince McMahon. And but it's tough because there's times where, especially those of us who deal with depression, where it's like, everyone I'm attached to is going away, and that's a kind of a hollow feeling. And I think that's why a lot of us, I'll just speak for myself specifically, we want to bring those things back in any way we can, and not just for us, but the joy of sharing that amongst others. And it kind of, I won't say it fills that void, but it helps out because you're amongst like-minded people. I know yesterday I surprised someone with a Rainbow Bright commercial that they had totally forgot about, and I got this really nice email. Yeah. I won't sing that, but she told me this great story about how Christmas morning, 1983, she had waited all year to get the Rainbow Bright with the horse, and her and her sister played for hours. And I'm like, this is why we loved it. This is why we all do it.
And this is the type of service you bring to the world, Smash.
Yeah,
everybody, not just me. I mean, I binge watch Jason, I binge watch you guys, and I think if only I could be that cool. But I love you. I love you guys' shows. There's a number of people. Jason's better at remembering them off the top of his head than I am, but Cassette Phase and a whole bunch of.
I've been binging Cassette Phase.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of great people in our community. If I could, I'm sidebarring for a minute, but if I could launch a Roku channel, I would gather all these talents together, and we would just go full board, and we would be the comfort channel for everybody.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh man, well, are we to me now? Did we just? Yeah, we did yours. You did Whitney Houston. That's right. Funny side note about Whitney Houston. I'll just say this real quick. I'm a youth pastor, so we did a game the other day and I put it on my Facebook where I brought a drum out into the middle. It's been like trended or whatever, and we played "I Will Always Love You." And they have the dramatic pause, and they had to get the drum hit right on, and it's a lot more of a, even as for a drummer, it's a struggle. You just got to feel it.
It's a lot longer pause.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, when you're there, I botched it. I wasn't even on the video because I showed them first, and I was like, yeah, see, who knows? But anyway, a lot of fun stuff.
I tried doing it, and I botched it pretty badly, and then I kind of in my head was like, oh, it's longer, so I even waited longer, and I still botched it.
Yeah, it's just part of it. So, well, anyway, so I'm gonna move on to mine. My link. Now that we're on link, this is one that I don't know if it's gonna be mentioned today. I would be surprised if this is a Rushmore. This was just a personal one, kind of a short-lived band. I'm gonna go with the singer of the band because it is the female. But there's a lot of really good music that came out of this, and this was one of those groups that my mom introduced me to. I really loved the drummer because I was a drummer. He's kind of one of those guys that get mentioned a lot. He was the drummer of this band, and his, at the time, wife was the singer of the band. And I'm going with The band is Missing Persons, but I'm going with Dale Bazio for my link.
Woo.
And I know that it's like a out of the blue but man, I listen to their music regularly. That album, Walking in LA, is such a fantastic song. If you are again, I mentioned in my criteria, I'm a huge Paramore fan and that whole time of stuff. I hear a lot of this stuff in that. In fact, if you go to Paramore's album called After Laughter, which is literally just an album from the 80s, it's crazy how that's just what they did. There's a lot of Missing Persons influence in that. I loved this group. I'm going Del Bazio, obviously, because the vocals are very unique, very high-pitched, very just a great. My brother interviewed her on his podcast last year. How amazing is that? Barry just said that. But yeah, I love this. I think she was only in the group, or the group was only together for like 80 to 86 is what it said on here. So kind of short lived in that. But man, this they have great songs. I just love the feel of all of their stuff. She has a very unique look too, kind of a Cyndi Lauper type look, the dyed hair and all that kind of stuff. Destination Unknown, Words is a great song.
Words is a great song.
Words is a fantastic song. But I mean, yeah, there's so many just amazing songs that they put out there. It's kind of a shame that it was a short-lived group, but if you haven't listened to Missing Persons, go listen to them. Last thing I'll say, I don't know how many of you guys are up to date with newer music. Kirk, maybe you are a little bit with having kids or whatever that are, one of the big artists that's out there right now. Her name is Chapel Roan. I don't know if you've listened to her at all. She has a song called Hot to Go, and literally it's a Missing Person song. There's no way that if you haven't heard this song, go put it on. I'm not saying you have to like the song, but you can agree with me that, oh my gosh, this is from the 80s. And it's very Missing Persons, very Walking in LA. You can put Walking in LA over Hot to Go, and I'm sure there's a YouTube video out there of that. It's very, very uncanny how realistic, how similar they are.
But Go is super popular in my house.
It's a very catchy song, and it's one of those songs that is like a guilty pleasure of mine. Like, I'll listen to the songs by Chapel Roan and be like, okay, I can't deny, like, if I like 80s music, I like this song. So
she does have a unique look. She honestly, she is like Cyndi Lauper, but I think she's even more attractive than Cyndi Lauper, at least back then.
Oh, I can't choose, but Andy, that's a great pick. I often like to rock out to Mental Hopscotch while playing Qbert.
Okay, all right, Mental Hop. There you go. Yeah.
I'm jumping around, and it's like I can't listen to the Atari Qbert because it drives me nuts. It's like wow, 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 except for the part where he gets hit and he's like wow.
Yeah.
And there's that naughty word above his head that you can't read. But so I'll turn the volume down on that, and I'll be leaping around, and it'll be like Mental Hopscotch.
It's so good. They're very punk, but also a good mix of the synth pop stuff in it too. I love Missing Persons.
Quintessential 80s. Beautiful pick.
It's a good pick, and I love the deep cut. I'm very glad, I guess, that you put this at 2, which is cool because there's a lot of heavy hitters that you lit, and it's because of the story. And this is why we do the Rushmore show. Yeah. You mentioned your mom, and you mentioned the punk influence, and this is why we do the Rushmore. This is why Tom Brady is at number 1 for everybody, guys. So good.
He's not punk enough for me. He's not punk enough.
Good pick. And I love this, Barry. Your brother interviewed her on his podcast. Barry,
wow.
You never shared with us that your brother has a podcast. And why hasn't you and your brother been on our podcast yet? We have to get you out from on the back side of the camera to the front side so we can see your face. Yeah. We want to see your face. What's up, Isaac in the house? Isaac's going to be on the show in a couple weeks. Isaac's going to be on a couple show. Isaac, hit the like button while you're here and tell us your 80s ladies. Ooh. You're a little younger, Isaac. Oh, Isaac. Hey, love you, man. You asked us to pray for you. A couple, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, you mentioned that you had a loss of your position at work. You were moving jobs or changing jobs. You lost your job. How's that going? If you want to talk about it, send it in the chat. You want to send us a DM, that's cool. But I'd love to keep praying for you, buddy. Thanks for being here, man. So Dale Bazio, finish off the link. Now we're at our last round, guys. Last round before our honorable mentions. And honorable mentions go quick. So Smash, who's number one? The number one. Still searching, but God has a plan. Thank you. Hey, man. Before, yeah, we're gonna pray for that here in a second, Isaac.
Yeah.
Smash, tell me what you got.
Well, she hadn't been mentioned yet, and I think in a lot of ways she's underrated. Creatures of the Night, not only a great song on the Ghostbusters soundtrack, but catchy song. Also Gloria. She got labeled as a one-hit wonder, but a lot of her songs were catchy, and a lot of them appeared in different places. So I'm going to say my number one is Laura Branigan.
Wow. Okay. All right.
This is an outstanding pick. Jason, you like Laura Branigan?
The most predictable number one for me. Just the most simple 80s guy. It's a Rushmore.
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes! Yes!
Nice!
Woo!
Rushmore.
We gotta hit that. We gotta hit that. Here it comes. Hold on.
Nice.
Wow.
I need a new T-shirt that says I'm a Jason Knupp guy.
Well, it's not Laura Branigan. Now hang on. It's Madonna. I mean, come on.
Okay. That still works.
It's Madonna. I mean, it was Del Bazzi, but I changed it. No, I didn't. I don't know who Del Bazzi was. But
so wait, Jason, tell me, do you like? Wait, first off, we'll get to Madonna real quick.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you like Laura Branigan?
What's the song?
She did. She's most known for Gloria, but she also did "Creatures of the Night" from the Ghostbusters soundtrack.
Yeah, sure. Gloria. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. But no.
Wait, Power of Love. Did she do the original Power of Love that Celine Dion sang?
I think so.
Yeah.
But Jason, Madonna. What was it about? Because I had special feelings.
Yes, all of mine are special feelings. That's my theme.
He was so happy, and you crushed him. You came out, and you're like, heck no.
Wow. Jason came out like Jason Voorhees with an axe. It was like, smash it, we're going to crush more it, baby! Woo! All over Camp Crystal Lake.
Wait, since we're doing it. Hey, I'm Rushmore in two with Madonna. With Madonna. And look, hey, Laura Branigan's a great pick, and she was on my honorable mentions, and namely the Ghostbusters. That is a fantastic song. I love that. But Self-Control, she's just all 80s for me. That's a fantastic pick. And Smash, out of all of the people, I was actually kind of shocked when Jason was like, Rushmore and Laura Branigan. And I'm like, man, both the 80s guys went there. Of all the 80s folks, you both went there. And I was like, man, that's kind of wild. And then it didn't surprise me when he said Madonna. I was like, oh, of course.
I jumped the gun on that.
Major icons. And I'm like, I thought Jason was picking all the major icons. Laura, that's kind of a niche.
Yeah.
I jumped the gun on that, but here's a question amongst those of us who picked Madonna. Now, which version of Madonna was your preference?
Hey, that's what I was going to say. So I'm coming out, listen, and I'll help out all of us with some statistics. Number one, so because we're doing 80s, I kind of like the 90s. Honestly, I kind of like the 90s Madonna a little bit better. I was older then. I was high school age, and I was like, I actually understood that she wasn't just, kind of sleazy and whatever, and she actually was like attractive. And I was like, wow, oh, she really is. But in the 80s, I remember as a kid, like she was Britney before Britney, right? She was Mariah Carey before Mariah. She she was every like she was the mega pop star, right? She was Michael Jackson's yin to the yang, and just like the opposite was Cyndi Lauper, but she had 17 top 10 hits in the 80s. 17. I was like, what? And I started going down the list, and I was like, I love almost all of these songs.
Yeah.
I love them. So here, I'm just going to give these out, and we can chat about all of this. But here are the hits, just a few of them. Like a Virgin, Material Girl, Holiday, Into the Groove, Papa Don't Preach, which is one of my favorites, Open Your Heart, La Isla Bonita, Like a Prayer, Borderline, man, I love Borderline, Lucky Star, 17 80s hits, and that's more than any artist, both male and female. That's pretty impressive in the 80s.
I'll tell you, if you're going somewhere in the car and you want to listen, she put out a greatest hits CD in the 90s called the Immaculate Collection.
Yes.
Yep. And that's a good one.
That was loaded with, there was not a song on that except maybe like the one before Vogue or something. You're like, I heard this one. But that CD, every single song, every single lyric. Those songs you mentioned, Material Girl, Papa Don't Preach, is so good, and it's such a good video. And
yes,
the video, dude, I was going to mention that. The video for Papa Don't Preach is way up there. We've done videos already, and I Papa Don't Preach was one of the ones I was thinking about.
With Danny Aiello in a supporting role as the dad. Who doesn't love Danny Aiello in a supporting role in the 80s? Come on.
She's got one that I love so much. It's about a curtain coming down. What is it? What is it? Man, I can't think of it.
Oh, it's Like a Curtain.
Like a curtain.
Right? Isn't that it?
Dropping for the very first time.
It sounds like a Weird Al Yankovic song.
Yeah. We get the hook for smash.
He did like a surgeon.
Like a surgeon cutting for the very first time. I love that one.
Don't get me started on Weird Al. Jason, I'm curious though. So, like, was it Material Girl Madonna that you were more interested in, or when she kind of did her short blonde hair phase with Papa Don't Preach and so on?
Oh, yeah. So looking back now, I love Take a Bow.
Take a Bow.
Take a Bow.
Thank you, Barry.
Song so much that I couldn't remember the name. No, I looking back now as a creepy adult, I love the short hair Madonna from Papa Don't Preach. But what did it for again is I had for a while I had sort of limited parenting, I guess. Mm-hmm. And
I hear you, brother.
Yeah, when she came out with like the Blonde Ambition tour, when everybody just thought that she was this awful human and she had the cone bra. I watched that concert on HBO and I was just like on another planet. I just thought that she was the most risque, again, sexy, just cool. And yeah, Madonna was, I love her. Love Madonna.
Well, she did so many things that were risky. One,
right.
She actually kissed Britney, right?
Yes,
that was a big deal. The type of garb that she wore, right?
Yeah.
A pointy cone, those kind of things. But I loved her like Marilyn Monroe-ish look.
Yeah.
But have you seen her recently?
No.
Yes.
Her recent look is so typical of why I am so anti plastic surgery. It just is awful.
It's gone. She's gone now. She's gone. She's not on anymore.
And I like Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
I can actually like tip my cap to and say, you know what, she doesn't do makeup and whatever anymore, and she doesn't look great. But the whole idea of looking like what Madonna looks like right now.
Yeah, because cosmetically speaking, there's something really annoying about a balding guy putting on a pink wig and then wearing sunglasses to hide his graying eyebrows. And Then he has his teeth whitened because he ate too much Count Chocula cereal back in the day. You know, that guy really Oh. Don't!
Hey, here we go. Look.
There it is.
So,
yeah.
Avert your eyes, children! Ah!
It's upsetting.
I don't know what that's odd. That's just odd.
This is my theory about why Jason Knupp's remodeling the cave. For situations like this, he's storing stakes for vampires like Lost Boys.
well, here's a cool picture. Here's a cool picture. Let's do this one. Like,
Don't do it! Don't do it!
No. This is a good one. This is a good one. This is gonna be a good one. So,
Good
look,
memories. Good memories.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh
So,
wow.
Woo! There we
Zephyr,
go.
look.
That's
Yes.
amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, I love her. I just
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, Jason, though, you reminded me with the cone bra. There's nothing better than having a little brother around that time, and you can tell them that's
Where
how
are you
they.
going with this?
That's it's clean. That's how Saturday night's main event was able to get in crystal clear picture in Madonna's house. People just adjusted the antennas, so you know it was all good. It was all good. So. I'm going to put in an emergency phone call for a good joke at this point.
Oh my god!
I don't quite understand the cone look. I mean, who wants to replicate like a 1940s pinup girl with that look? But I'll tell you, and it's not just 12-year-old boy stuff. I love her music.
Yes,
I love her. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, good pick all around. So comes Rushmore's with that's a triple Rushmore, and unless Andy
Triple.
pulls it off here, which I don't think he will.
Not gonna do it.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will.
this used to be
But-
my playground. That still makes me cry.
That's a great song.
Yes.
Dude, that song. So what I love about music so much is that when I hear the song, and this happened a lot this week, kind of going back and listening to some, I automatically go to my house, like in a certain part of my house, and actually, Jason, you talk about this so much on your channel. It's one of my favorite things about your channel. Cassette Face talks about it, but like the nostalgia and the moments of things, and like when you're holding the LJN and it brings you here. Music kind of does that for me, and like the playground song, I can remember like riding to school with my sister driving. And us kind of listening to that song, and just not that it's like an endearing moment, but it's like a moment that I forgot doing that as a kid,
Mhm.
and it's just like it brings you there. But such a good library of songs. And here's the thing, she has hits that I just said the 17 hits in the 80s. She's got hits in the 90s. She's got them in 2000. She's even got some like 5 years ago. She is the megastar, right? Everybody wants to be. So
That playground song jumped back in my brain because I had done a documentary. I know our generation and Andy too. Also, we had malls that were nostalgic for us. That's where we met with friends and family, and went to the arcade and went to KB's and so on and so forth.
my first job, toys.
Yeah, there you go, brother. Representing. I had done a documentary on my Rutland, Vermont History channel. Quick plug there. About our mall here in town, and they destroyed it in the mid '90s. And the opening video I did was a montage of every photo I could find of that mall, inside and out, set to "This used to be my playground."
Yeah.
And my inbox was flooded by people going, "Oh, I yearned to see it, and it also made me cry." But I mean, you can't explain the mall culture. Jason was on point with this another episode he did, where it's hard to explain to people who weren't there and lived it those feelings exactly. We can try to translate, but it's hard to explain what you felt in that moment with those things, the mall and Saturday mornings and such and such.
Hey,
Great song.
Alex is in the house. That's Captain. He was my captain when I was in Iraq.
Ooh.
So, Alex says, name the movie from that song. The playground song? I can't remember.
I'm having a case of
She's in the movie.
sometimers.
She's in the movie.
Oh, was she in the movie?
Not Desperately Seeking Susan.
Yes.
No, that seemed like it would be.
Oh!
A League of Their Own.
Oh, okay.
With the
There's
amazing
no crying in
credibility
baseball.
of.
You can cry to the song, but not to baseball.
Yeah, no crying in baseball.
No crying in baseball. Yeah, I should have known that.
Or else Kevin Costner goes nuts in the cornfield because Jason keeps following him going, if you build it, the hockey mask will show up.
It's only 749 renovations. Not that big a deal.
Alex, man, thank you for being here, dude. We love you
Yes.
so much. Hey, make sure you hit that like button on your way out, dude. We are 35 hours, Alex, from hitting monetization. Hang around with us a little bit if you can. We love you, man. And you're going to be on the show soon. You're going to be on the show during movies, and I'm excited for that. And that's going to be, I think, movies, maybe nostalgia. But Alex is going to be back on the show very soon, which is my captain. Oh, captain, my captain.
Great movie right there.
That's a great one. Yeah. I've walked on that field in Evansville, Indiana, and the original Field of Dreams. Yeah, that's so good. All right, so, Andy, finish us up, man. Finish the George.
All right. Well, with my George, I'm surprised we haven't mentioned this, but I think I know why. Technically, I'm cheating.
I was going to
Oh.
It is still, it's not a woman. It is two women.
Oh.
And I'm going.
That was my George.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Wilson sisters. Give me Heart.
Right.
Heart has to be the greatest of the 80s. Man, and I get that there were some songs in the 70s. We like Barracuda. We like some of those songs that are out there. But, dude, Alone, what about love? I mean, if that song comes on and you don't blast it, there's something wrong with you. But, yeah, man, I'm going with Heart. They're just so fantastic. Again, there's so many great hits here. I know I'm cheating because it's a band that I'm picking, but I don't care. I picked Dale Bosio because I love Missing Person.
in the house.
Yeah, Dan De La Torre's here. But yeah, I'm going Heart. Fantastic. Her voice is just crazy good. They are crazy talented musicians. The writing of their songs is fantastic. And there's not a Heart song that comes on that I'm not just blasting. And I'll say this, man. I was listening to it today, and I'm cheating because I'm picking this. I'm telling you about a song from the late 70s, but it's close enough to the 80s to be considered the 80s. Barracuda, when you listen to that song, it is very much a Led Zeppelin song with women singing it. It's crazy, dude. Like, dude.
All right.
So good. I love Heart. I will blast.
Barry, hello. Colin says his selection still hasn't been picked, and you cut the tension with a knife. Alex says Seattle Proud, and Dan says Nikki Haley from Hailstrom. And Isaac is still here. And I want to make sure I pray for him. And so don't go anywhere, Isaac. I will pray for you in 2 seconds. I promise. I love you to death, man. I want to make sure. And yes, don't touch that rice. It's hot. Yes, he is. The Yankees win again. I think that's 5 in a row, maybe. So awesome. Oh, Dan. Hey, Isaac. Jason isn't the biggest sports guy anymore, but he does like the Yankees. There's a big Yankee symbol on his refrigerator in the garage, and I see it all the time. So,
good. So I'm not the only one that freeze frames his show clip by clip, and it's like, okay, that door isn't locked in any serious manner.
I see the logo, when I see the logo, I gotta pay attention. So here it is. So let me just share this, Andy. Heart was number 1 for me all the way up until about an hour before the show. Oh. And when I did my criteria, and my criteria was how many hits did they have in the 80s? They had 3 top 10 hits in the 80s. Most of their hits were in the 70s, but they are by far, when you talk about ladies in rock, whatever generation you go to, we've talked about this. Heart are the queens. They're the queens. They're the top of the top. They were my number 1 Benjamin. So I was going to sneak them in at number 5 just because of my criteria. When my first round in, I was coming in with Hart and being like, look, I didn't put him in the first round because of this, but man, I love them.
Dude, have you seen like, I forget when it was, but they did a performance with Alice in Chains and Duff McKagan, and they covered like some Alice in Chains songs, and Hart was playing it and singing along. Dude,
that's probably awesome.
It's so good. It's so good. So that's kind of that grunge, because Hart was from Seattle, correct? Weren't they? Weren't they Seattle?
I think so.
Alex over there said Seattle proud. So
yeah, there you go. So yeah, they were kind of, again, not predecessors to grunge, because they were doing different things, but they were rockers coming out of the Seattle scene prior to obviously blowing
what
up.
do you
Their
boys think about Hart?
I'm so jealous because they were on my Rushmore, but I didn't think I could pick them because it's 2. And I'll say this. And I'd like you guys to weigh in on this. My personal opinion with pop culture is that the 3 years prior to a new decade, the seedlings are planted and start growing a little bit. Then it sets the tone. And I think Hart is one of those groups that helped set the 80s tone at least a couple of years prior to the 80s starting. I'm glad I didn't sing in the shower, All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You. But I mean, to borrow Ric Flair, to borrow a page from Jason's fellowship of Ric Flair, of course, why wouldn't I? Look at me.
And that's the other thing. So just we did this in 2000s bands, because Creed's debut album came out in 1997. I don't consider Creed a 90s band. They are a 2000s band. But My Own Prison, 97. So it's close enough. If we can round up, and I'll give you not 95, right? Mm-hmm. Even 96. But so 70s, 1977. If we include hits from Hart from 1977, we include Barracuda. We include Crazy on You.
Relax.
And they're
just. I consider them an 80s band until, and the only reason I did the criteria was how many hits were in the 80s. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Like the top 10 hits. But they were bangers, bro. Like, to me, Hart was number 1 all the way up to an hour ago, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to shift some things. I moved Cyndi Lauper on my list. She was at 5, and it was Hart. It was Hart, Madonna, Whitney Houston, Janet. That was my original order.
Oh.
And then I moved it up, moved Hart back just because of my criteria. But I agree with you. Hart is an 80s band. Just like I said, Metallica is a 90s band. Then you said it's an 80s band. It's whatever, because I listened to them in the 90s. Now, one thing I want to share with you, Smash, that's why I sent the criteria out earlier today, and you might have missed it. I said my particular criteria is, I'm not just going to pick rock. I'm going to pick all kinds of genres, but I'm also got a few that were in bands and a few that were bands.
This is what I get for my other obsession of editing 80s cable. I'm just determined to have a cable box full of 80s commercials and shows.
Please.
So here's the deal. Honorable mentions are coming up. If you've got some all or mainly women bands that you want to throw in there, you can change your list. So honorable mentions is up next. But what do you guys think? Or Jason, what do you think about Hart?
Yeah.
Meh.
Well, they don't want to make love to Jason, I guess. Oh boy,
they weren't big enough hits. Andy, meh.
That's okay. That's cool. That's cool,
so
brother.
like the kids say nowadays, mid.
Meh.
Mid.
You got to. My respect for Jason just went up tenfold, because he would be the kid on the playground going, He-Man's just a little overrated.
I don't know. He started his He-Man collection, so
that's right.
He's rocking it.
Retarded. Jeez.
What were your thoughts on Hart, though, Jason? At all?
I don't have any.
Okay.
I have no thoughts.
Fair enough.
No thoughts.
Sure,
all right. Well, look. Let's get to the second part. Let's end this show off right. Everybody. Oh, Shaun's in the house. Shaun, you would be perfect for this one. These guys right here are your type of folks. Shaun does music. He's a musician, but he loves the 80s and 90s. He is awesome. Great channel. Shaun, go follow these guys, and you guys should follow him. He's awesome. The Real Life Perspective Show. He's been on the show, and actually, Shaun, we're going to do a show coming up soon, I think. I don't remember the date. It's soon. I think you're up
In 2 weeks. I
2
think
weeks?
it's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he'll be back. So here's the deal. This is how the honorable mentions go. When we first started the show, we kind of saw a thing where Benjamin Franklin was supposed to be the fifth guy on the mountain. It never happened. And so we like to call the Benjamins our honorable mentions because they just missed the mountain. And so we're going to jump into that. Before we do that, Isaac, let me pray for you real quick. Lord, listen, one of my favorite people in the world, Jeannie Mayo, says, when you live close to the throne room, you don't have to pray long prayers to get it done. So, Lord, I just thank you for Isaac and his just coming back. And I know that you have a great mission and a great plan, that there's a reason he lost his job, and you have something better for him. Lord, we ask you right now in Jesus' name to fix the financial issues that might be over his family, and providentially help him today. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so
Amen.
time for the Bennies. Time for the Bennies, the Benjamins. Man, my sidebar is not working very well. Here it is. All right, here we go. About the Benjamins, baby. So here it is. So it's the same order in the first round, but then we go backwards in the second, and then forward. I'll tell you what it is. So like, Smash your first, then Jason, me, Andy. Second round is Andy, me, Jason, you. Then Smash, you get it in the third, you, blah, blah, blah. So there's back-to-back picks for you, Smash. In the middle, you start and you end. You're going to have the first pick and the last pick. Here's the thing. We can't say anything mentioned before, and if somebody says something, you can't say that one either. So, Smash, what's the first one that missed the mountain? You don't have to talk about this a lot. We are 2 hours and 30 in, and it's almost time to go. We got to get going. So just throw some out there. We might chat a little bit. Who missed your mountain?
That is the best hint since Triple H had to interrupt Ric Flair's Hall of Fame speech 3 times. Thank you. This is tough for me, so I'm gonna throw her out there. Kim Wilde.
Kim Wilde, nice.
Wilde, good pick. Good pick. So Kim Wilde's off the board. Kim Wilde was on my list. Did have a ton of hits.
Hanging on.
Good song.
Love it.
All right.
Love it. All right,
Jason, you're up.
Jason, who's your next one?
I mean, this person's iconic. She's iconic. I loved Kenny Rogers as a kid. She did some stuff with Kenny Rogers.
Come on.
Look, fellow little Andy up there in the corner. We got me and Andy, Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, very nice pick. Dang, it took that one from me. Took that one away.
That's a big icon right there. That's a big one. Hey, look, we're talking. Hey, my highest one on the list that hasn't been said, and I'm going with a group. I'm going with the Bangles. Listen, I absolutely love the Bangles, and one of their songs was my 8th grade graduation song. So, hey, man, I love the Bangles. So, you are up, Andy.
Dang. All right, well, 2 iconic ones that haven't been mentioned yet that I've got to go with. I'm going Debbie Harry for my first Benjamin off the list from Blondie. And then, great. I took Lita Ford. Might as well take the counterpart. I'm going to go Joan Jett. Joan Jett.
Wait. Hey, Daly is the queen. Hello, everyone. Oh, Misadventures in the house.
Woo!
Man, it's been a while since I've seen Misadventures. We love you so much. Hey, Colin from Canada, you still out there? See if maybe still haven't been mentioned. Hey, I'm coming in with another group.
4 in the morning in Canada.
Yeah.
So here I'm going in with another group, but not so much the group. I'm going with the lead singer because she was awesome and she was a part of a main group, but she was also solo. I'm going with Belinda Carlisle from the Go-Go's.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. There's number 2 on my list.
My wife makes fun of me because in the 90s I was exclusively listening to female artists. I loved Lilith Fair. I loved Joan Osborne and Apple and all.
Colin, was that it?
Where's Colin?
Colin, yes.
Yes. I don't know. Yes to you being here, or yes to it was mentioned.
Belinda Carlisle.
All right. Well, hey, so you're up.
Well, so my 90s girl who was who was in the '80s, Tracy Chapman.
Oh my gosh!
Big fan.
You're taking my list away from me.
Fast Car in 1987. Loved it.
Great.
So
Great.
Colin says it still has not been mentioned. The tension is mounting. So hey, Smash, you get back-to-back picks.
I didn't want to step on Jason. Well, back to back. One, Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle.
She doesn't get enough love. And the Queen of Soul, opening up WrestleMania 3,
Really?
Miss Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin. I don't think of her as 80s. I know she was in the 80s, but
How could you miss a Chevrolet ad back in the day where she would sing the heartbeat of America? I mean, that is such 80s happiness. Or her involvement in the Blues Brothers films in the early 80s. I mean,
I guess, yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
Still got some high ones up here.
All right, Jason, we're circling back to you, man.
I've
Just
just got two more on my list. Chrissy Hine.
Christy. Oh,
Yes.
nice. Okay.
So the Pretenders.
Yeah, Pretenders.
great pick. Great pick.
Great pick. Hey, this one here, my next pick. I just added him last minute, and I can't believe I didn't mention him before. This is a synonymous with every soundtrack from the 80s that I can think of. Not every one of them, but there are so many soundtracks. But I'm going with the Pointer Sisters. Boom! Dude, so many good songs.
That wasn't a mic drop. That was an Atari drop in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Bam!
Yeah, man. So little Neutron dance.
Neutron.
Come on, man. What you got on that?
Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad that I've got my picks that I can still take because I had 3 more to go from here, I was going to pull from just some lists here, but I do have these ones. Get my back-to-back last picks here, and I know she's probably not here, maybe still lurking, but probably not here. Celeste, it's for you. I'm going a single mom who works 2 jobs. I'm going Reba, man. Here's your one chance, Fancy. Don't let me down. I'm going Reba, and I know that song came out in 1990, but Fancy, yeah. But she has a great collection from the 80s.
I love hearing Melissa sing that. We used to go out and go karaoke, and that's the song she would sing.
Dude, that song comes on. I'm still wearing it today. And my final pick, and it's really just because of this one song, because this song to me is cheesy 80s, just brilliance.
You're gonna do
Lightning in a Bottle, Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler.
Yes!
Bonnie Tyler.
Yes!
How can we talk today without this song being mentioned?
Hey, that song.
Turn around. Every now and that'd be weird.
Every now and then I feel a little bit lonely when you're never coming round. Turn around.
What about
fixing the
two-hit
cake?
wonder though, right? She's a 2-hit wonder. She's got Total Eclipse of the Heart, and she had
Holding Out for a Hero.
Holding Out for a Hero, which is like another soundtrack song. Right?
How could you not root for Kevin Bacon to kill the other guy with the lawnmower? Because it's like holding out for a hero. It's like, yeah, club him with a boombox.
That's another montage song.
I'm very excited about my list today because I'm coming up with another underrated pick, man. This is my sister. This reminds me so much of my sister. I'm going down south, baby, South Florida, Miami Sound Machine, Gloria Estefan is my next pick, dude.
Boys will be boys.
Which is she has the third most hits of all of them, behind Whitney and behind Madonna. She had the third most, which is crazy.
Get on your feet.
Rhythm is gonna get you. Rhythm is gonna get you. And then they had that Donkey Kong sounding part where it's like, ooh. Rhythm is gonna get you.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, we got your final pick here, man.
Hey,
was a
you got two more chances to figure out what Colin wants.
I only got one left, and it's a total one-hit wonder. But it was she's so cool that she had two versions of the song. She had the American version, and then wherever she was from, 99 Luft Balloons.
Yes, Jason. Yes.
Nay,
Or whatever. Listen, 99
Nina.
Luft Balloons is the classic.
Yes.
In the grocery store song.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time, like in like a clothing store. I'm like, oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
Also, side note, the cover.
You look like an idiot.
The cover of 99 Luft Balloons by Goldfinger is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
If you haven't heard that one, do that.
Which is kind of skyish. Yeah, it's great. Pop ska.
Jason,
right,
that is an awesome pick, brother. Awesome
you have
pick.
To bring us home with the last pick, and Colin Colin might never come back to the show right here. Who is?
Well, think about it. Is there a Canadian lady?
I don't know. Maybe I know when we got to this part that my pick was already predetermined because I just. Whenever I hear any of her music, I think 80s. She almost made it on the Rushmore in 3 different drafts. Sheena Easton.
Sheena Easton. Very nice.
Sheena Easton was the #1 lady on 2 of the lists that I looked up this morning.
Yeah.
Sheena Easton.
There was a movie called The Santa Claus Movie in 1987. Oh, sorry.
Colin, she didn't make it. Please tell me. Please tell me, Colin, who it is, and please tell me that it is Andy's favorite person. Tell us.
Oh, she didn't make it. We haven't even talked about her. I'm so glad.
Tell me. Colin, where you at? So we can go home. Tell us.
I need to know who this person is.
Bring the sharpshooter, baby. Come on. Lay it on us.
Well, while he's typing, must be a long name. Let's say our goodbyes. Hey, everybody in the chat, there's still 15 of you here. If you haven't hit the like, thank you. Go do that for us. We love you. If you have a channel like Real Life Perspective, Colin from Canada, drop your channels in the chat. We do this every Thursday at about 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. And yeah! She was a smooth operator. Oh, man.
Sade.
Evie Mix sucks. Andy cannot stand Fleetwood Mac.
Rick Root. Yep. Jason's right. Rick Root's theme song. Oh, man.
Yeah. Smooth operator. Hey, Colin, that's a great pick. That's a great pick. So, look, we do this every Thursday, 7 o'clock. If you want to be on the show, we'd love to have you on the show. Colin, I don't know if you're on Instagram. That's usually where we chat. Sometimes on Facebook for like these guys. Because whatever, we'll chat wherever is best. If you want to be on the show, I'll send you an email. And in the email, we'll kind of talk about the show. And then we'll plan and see whenever you can get on.
Let me
Shaun
tell you. If you get Colin, just be prepared for just brilliance. Colin is so witty and so quick and so. I've said this before. I love comedy that isn't so obvious, and you got to think and you got to just appreciate. And Colin brings it.
Nice.
Well, Jason, maybe depending on when it is, you might want to come on and join in with him too. So, hey, we love you guys. Before we leave, so Miss Rhonda's in the house still. Thank you, Miss Rhonda, and everybody that's out there, Poetically Christian Gamer, Isaac, all you friends that always show up with us every week. You're amazing. You treat us so well. We by the way, Jason, what's your number at? How many you at?
I can't. Well, what do I do? Can I get out? Can I go check? How do I?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
I'll go look. I'll
tell you. So everybody, Jason is pushing on 5,000 subscribers. Let's see where he's at. Pulling up. He's at 4,990. Oh, I can't see the fourth number.
He's one off. He's one away.
$49.99.
Wow.
So you're
I'm
at
gonna go
4.99K.
unsubscribe real quick and subscribe.
He's one away.
We can do this before we leave, people.
Whoa! And
Do this, Andy.
5K.
Put him over the top,
new
Andy.
80s Revolution. Here, I'm going to type it in the chat.
Miss Rhonda, have you subscribed to Jason Knupp? To the new 80s Revolution. Real life perspective. Shaun, the real life perspective, or you need to go check out Jason's show.
The new 80s Revolution on YouTube.
Chat? Kirk, you're putting it in the chat?
Yeah.
Send the channel. We're going to get Jason that one. Here it comes.
The new 80s Revolution. There it is.
One away.
So one away. That's so
Do
awesome.
we pipe in the Goldberg music while Jason's marching down the hallway to the cave while this is going on? Done. 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 Done.
Hey, look, while we're doing that, and Jason's on the show and Smash on the show, what do you guys have coming up next? Jason, I know you are notorious for having writer's block and then all of a sudden going on like 35 days in a row, not like just going like a motor, and then all of a sudden you don't have anything to do for 3 weeks, and then it's like 35 more days in a row. What do you got coming up next on your show?
We're in the middle of another room remodel. We're showcasing toy lines a little bit more than I had before. So that's taking a little while. We've added a garage to our collection area. I've expanded. So probably not tonight because I'm with you guys, but people can look for daily content. And the channel has morphed into a guy talking about toys to a guy just talking about life and stuff and things. And those are my most viewed videos. And I think that's what I connect with people the most is just reality television from somebody who is fairly likable, I think. I don't know. Maybe not.
He is so humble. He is so ridiculously humble.
Both Shaun and Rhonda just subbed, and I think that might get you over the hump.
Let's check. Let's make it official.
Close. So the YouTube's weird, but maybe we're there, maybe we're not. But look, everybody go over there and do that. Anyways, make it 5,001 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. We need to get him to 10,000. Let me tell you something. One of the most humbling and just amazing comments that we got. Jason did a show. Well, when he did our show the first time, the week before, he did a little clip and he announced our show. And he said to us, I think we had like 200 subs then, or maybe a little under 3. And he told his fans, he said, it is a shame these guys aren't at 1,000. And I was like, man, really? That's awesome. Thank you so much. But it is a shame that Jason is not at the silver play button. Like, if you're an 80s guy, like, he has such witty, like his presence is just calming. He talks about, he talks about so much. His family, his sons, his vacations, his struggles. And it's just so, it's so cool to see somebody that you can relate to. So everybody go sub him, go follow him. Whenever he goes live, tell him where you came from, remind him that you got him from here. And the Slammy Awards on Jason's channel coming up. And Smash, tell everybody about you, man. What do you got coming?
Woo! Well, the radio show is still going strong every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on star1079.com. That is 3 hours of audio bliss, music, retromercials, me being a goofball. The YouTube show is currently in reconstruction. I've gotten a lot of good feedback. And so I'm going to be delivering a 40-minute version. I always feel like I'm not giving enough. So the show actually ballooned out to 1 hour and 40 minutes. But enough people have come forward and said, we love everything you do. And I appreciate that very much. And they're like, don't wear yourself out. So I've taken those suggestions, and I've also looked into some of the headbutting with YouTube, and I've restructured the show a little bit. And when some serious real-life stuff settles down, I will be back to it on a weekly basis on Saturday nights with that. In the meantime, you can enjoy all the classics on YouTube. And, of course, the radio show is fresh every week, 3 hours. And I also want to mention Jason also was a giant help. Saying to his audience, it's a crime that Smash doesn't have more subscribers. I am very proudly holding at 421. And I say that with a great, I know Jason's going to be like, that's a crime, and I appreciate that, but I really had to scratch and dig to earn all 421, and I'm very proud of that. But I've always said, whether it's the radio show or the YouTube show, I love doing it. I love sharing the 80s. Now, my goal is to get as big as possible, but whether it's 1, whether it's 100, whether it's 10,000, I will deliver the same Shawn Michaels Heartbreak Kid-esque performance, the very best I can do. And hopefully we'll be back with both shows running weekly in the near future. But for now, check out the stuff. I have a webpage. Let's see. officialsmashventura.card.co. That's officialsmashventura.card.co. And you can check out all my smashy goodness. And I appreciate every single one of you, and especially the 3 extraordinary talented gentlemen I'm sitting with right now.
Well, let me tell you real quick. Both of you guys, both of your entities, all 3 of you guys deserve. You guys are so the Rushmore show has gone from the beginnings to this production that is now a production from 2 talented people who have wonderful presentations and wonderful personality and wonderful backgrounds and wonderful stories and doing incredible stuff. This belongs on television. Like, this is a television show. And I've said that for a long time about Smash Ventura. Smash Ventura is public access TV. He's like, he just doesn't, and whether it's history or his personal history, whatever it is, the guy just doesn't give himself enough love and credit. He is an inspiration, and he just has so much talent that just doesn't come out. And being in the mental health field, it hurts me to see a guy that just isn't bringing it the way he should be bringing it. All of you guys deserve more than you have. I'm just a guy who talks about crap. You guys are the real stars, and I'm honored to be here for the 3rd time.
I'm just the guy that talks about crap. Listen, I think we're all, and look, I understand where we're going and where we've been, and over the last year, the kind of fun that we've done in the community. Our first few years were just trying to figure out life. What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to do this? And we realized immediately, if we're going to do anything and we're going to share the gospel, which is really what we are. We're pastors, and we love to share the gospel whenever we can. But we don't want to be folks that, we always say we're not a Christian channel, but we're not a Christian channel. We figured out that if we really wanted to do that, we had to do more than talk about Madonna. We had to talk about the community, those people that are over there in that list, and realize that they're all real people giving us an ounce of their time. And that's just crazy that people would come and watch us. So we thank all of them for showing up. And I know how hard it is. And listen, I love both of you guys. I know how hard it is to tune in to 2 favorite people of mine, much less people that don't really trigger with me, right? And so, but I want to support them because, hey, they support us. So I try and jump in everybody's channels and do whatever I can. We are so grateful that we have 14 almost the whole night. The record is 41 all night. That's nuts. I mean, I don't even understand that. But we know that we are so grateful for amazing people like you giving us a little bit of flowers. And we thank you guys for being here. Everybody go support these guys. I will continue to support both of their shows. The one thing that I found, it was heartbreaking over the last few years, or last year-ish, right? We actually, and Jason, you were supposed to be on the show. Well, not supposed to. We kind of agreed that you were going to be on, and then you decided you had to take a break. And I was like, I told Andy, I was like, listen, I'm glad he's taking a break for his own mental health and some other things that were going on. But man, I hope he comes back. And then when you did, I was so excited and whatever. And I love watching your community. And you've grown since then, pretty good. And if I have to say something, art and life kind of mirror each other.
Yeah.
Smash was kind of doing the same thing not long ago, like about, I don't know, 3 months ago. We have private conversations. He's had some cool lives, and I think everybody loves Smash. Everybody loves your show, and what's going to happen is you're going to come back stronger than ever, and just like Jason, you're going to hit that 5K. And so I love you guys. We thank you guys for being here. Enough kind of patting each other on the butt and getting good game coaches. But Andy, what do you have to tell our fans before we go?
I'm now subscribed to the new 80s Revolution. I've been
Yes.
finally, you've earned my trust,
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
So, no, man, everything he just said, everything, I echo obviously all of those things too. But man, we're pushing 3 hours. I told you before this, we'd probably be around there. So I think it's a fitting time to say good night, like we always do, by saying this. This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top 4.
And nothing more.
Peace.